Hello, and welcome back to Mr. Eastland Plays. I am your prophetic host, Mr. Eastland, and we are back with Genshin Impact. Let me turn on my my little rainbow light. Ready? There we go. We are going to continue the Archon quest. I think we got halfway through. I'm honestly not sure. But we're looking for Furina in Poisson. We found Furina ourselves.
Deserted. Guess all the survivors must have evacuated already. All that's left here are signs of death at station.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. We did get Furina. It took 155 pulls. In fact, I don't need this here anymore. We are still at 0 pity. Obviously, it took a while. We lost her 50-50, but we got her. I went from about 32,000 to down to 8,000. It's good times. Good times. Good times. But all's well that ends well.
Could Furina really be here?
Yeah, Furina is here. We're gonna find her. But first, a wish to start things off. We'll see what we get. Just the 3-star. Okay. Fun Skyrider sword. Alright, let's go. If we have time, I'll dip into the abyss, but if we end up taking a couple hours, then I'll probably just end. I got some other stuff I need to do tonight. Let's see, where is she gonna be? Is she gonna be down by the water? Yep, there she is. What's up, Archon? How are you doing? Probably not great. Oh.
That's Furina, right over there. She really is here all on her own.
Are we gonna... Yeah, Paimon, shut up.
Should I just give up? This is all meaningless.
What's all meaningless? Trying to reverse fate?
What was meant to happen did happen after all. Everyone's dead.
I mean, not everyone. We gotta try.
I'm so sorry. Give up, Furina. There's no point in holding out.
Furina is such a sad little girl.
I'm sorry. But what can I even do? Other than to repeat meaningless apologies over and over.
Their consciousnesses are still somewhere.
Who's that?
Don't worry, Furina, it's just us.
Yeah, you can tell us all your secrets.
So it is you, blonde
You can
traveler
drop
from
the
another
front.
land.
Come on.
Why, I almost thought you were someone from that mob of my ignorant subjects. Come to kneel and beg for my forgiveness.
Wow. Really acts like she doesn't care about him.
Furina, you were crying just now, weren't you? The tear stains on your face are obvious.
What do you mean, tear stains? Oh, I remember. The show
Man,
at the
she is
Opera House earlier
real
this morning
guarded.
was so moving. I'm still trying to process it. Who did that uncivilized rabble think they were? Disturbing my enjoyment of the arts.
Oh, she's talking about the... Okay, yeah. Because where we left off, she had gotten, shouted down by some of the people in the Opera House. That's right.
They even dare
She got
to
ganged
tell
up
their
on.
Archon. I must teach them a lesson. I can just imagine their twisted and frustrated faces once they realize
She's punishing
I'm
him by
nowhere to be
disappearing.
found.
That's such the lowest way to try and get back is well, you wouldn't like me if I'm not here.
Oh, and I'm sure Nouvellette and those people from the Marsh Chaussee Phantom are freaking out right next to them too.
Yeah, stop trying to act tough. It's becoming more and more psychotic.
Of course not.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, there she is! The Hydro Archon's over there!
Oh no.
Quick, after her!
Oh no. They actually gonna capture her?
Furina, those people seem to be after you.
They are? They're just some rabid fans who want to cut the line because they haven't been able to meet me in person, aren't they?
I don't know.
That's against the rules. I can't let them get their way.
Sure, okay. Bye.
Furina just ran off.
Yeah, we should have expected this. Let's go.
We have to catch up with.
Where is she going to go? And how's she going to outrun those people? I guess walk on water. That helps. Oh, wow. They really did just disappear. Oh, we all hid. Okay.
This should be the place, right? Hey, Furina! There's a good hiding spot over here. Quick, come to Paimon before the rest of them catch up to you.
What? What is this place?
Hurry, they're almost here.
Fine. I suppose haste is warranted. Lead the way.
It's a good way to gain trust. Like, hey, we just helped you out. Now, can you, like, you know, talk to us a little bit? Share your feelings? Girl needs a therapist. Oh, wow. This is a tiny little space. How do we know about this place?
Paimon's exhausted.
I'm so tired. I totally thought they had caught me. No, I mean, I merely gave in to the sheer enthusiasm they displayed.
You might want to lower your voice.
You're right. Yep, that's a good girl.
Don't call her a good girl. Oh, no. Is the water rising again?
What's happening? The ground's shaking. Is it an
Another
earthquake?
disaster just struck. Yeah, because that's right. There was an earthquake before Poisson flooded.
Yeah, a quake of this kind preceded the flooding in Poisson, didn't it?
It can't be. It's happening again.
Well, there's no need to worry too much about that. Novelette's made some emergency plans, so the evacuation should go a lot smoother this time.
Yeah, what have you done, Furina?
Yeah, I hope you're right. But the people of Poisson, they've already...
Yeah. She's like finally dropping her guard. I don't even think she realizes she's dropping her guard.
It's true. I've been investigating the prophecy for hundreds
For hundreds
of years.
of years?
I
Wow.
once had informants all over Tevat, searching for clues and feeding information back to me. I've tried all kinds of ways, too, to hold back the sea. Anything to keep the coastline from advancing. But all my efforts proved to be futile in the end. Really, the truth has been clear to me for a very long time. We cannot make an enemy of the divine. No matter what we do, the will of the heavenly principles will have its way. And the prophecy
So the prophecy was
shall
from
be
the heavenly
fulfilled.
principles? Is that what we're implying here?
Give up.
Yeah, we still can't give up.
I do love the sound of that phrase. It would mean finally coming to terms with fate, but also for me to finally be free.
Free, really? You wouldn't be freed by your guilt.
Indeed. I've thought about giving up so many times, especially after we almost lost Poisson. Fate is really unreasonable, isn't it? It has no heart and obeys no rules. The prophecy has only just started to come true.
A lot
and
more
so
people
many
at stake.
People have already lost their lives.
A lot more at stake.
Just now, it all became clear to me. I still don't have the right to come to terms with fate on behalf of everyone else.
Exactly.
As long as the final moment hasn't come, it's
The curtain
still
has not
too
closed
late.
on this act.
Don't worry. I will keep hope alive for everyone until the very end.
It's exhausting. So maybe some help is warranted, you know? Nouvelette's like a dragon. We're like from somewhere, I don't know, but somewhere pretty special people.
Well, that's enough for now. I got the impulse to play the stricken maiden, but honestly, considering my rank and station, that wasn't a good fit at all.
Dude, just stop.
Don't take any
Oh,
of what
whatever.
I just said seriously.
What?
How could I possibly let Fontaine fall to the whims
Don't
of
take any of
trivial
what I just said
prophecy?
seriously? That's the only time you've been serious in your entire life.
Come on! Paimon could have sworn you were actually being honest just now.
No, I was being a very good actress. Let's get more information out of her. You might not have to shoulder this burden alone. Indeed. Although I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone, your people are more than willing to share your burden with you.
Share my burden. That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be my duty alone.
Who said that? But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, you can still choose to confide in someone. It's called a witness. Or a therapist.
A witness. Yes. I've heard that you came to Tevat from beyond the stars, yes.
I don't think I can,
In other words,
I don't think I
you
adhere to the
never
heavenly
belonged
principles that you
here.
talk about.
And if Tevat is, in its entirety, a show on a stage, then you're just a spectator, aren't you?
Am I? Tell me more. I would like to know. Am I just a spectator? Is this just the stage?
If that's the case...
Just spit it out. Here we go. Cutscene time. Let's do it. Oh, something's gonna interrupt. Yep, there we go. What? Lenny! Lenny, what did you do? Lenny. Excuse me?
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes my opening performance.
No, it doesn't, Lenny. Can you explain what just happened?
Now, without further ado, we may proceed to the trial of our god.
This is like very bad timing, my dude.
So, this is what it is. Yes, you deserve praise for the effort you took to raise the dramatic stakes. Do not forget, however, that I am Focalors, the god of justice. The embodiment of justice itself.
Here comes the
Does
drama.
it not strike you as even the least bit absurd to bring the very concept of justice to trial?
Yeah, actually, considering the shit this place is.
May I interpret these words as your refusal to stand trial? In that case, you will have the
Nouvellette looks
opportunity
tired.
to defend your honor through a duel.
Oh God. Maybe not that. Furina. You might want to choose the trial.
Your blade against a god?
Yeah, she's like, and I'll kill a bitch. I don't know. I think I'm stronger than you. I just did.
I see. It seems like you have made up your mind.
Trial time.
Paimon can't believe it. She just surrendered.
What the heck is going on? Did I just see an Archon surrender to a human?
Yeah, she's not strong enough.
How utterly humiliating.
Lady Furina, what is the meaning of this?
It would seem that there has been a misunderstanding. To be clear, the raising of both hands is not always an indication of surrender.
Oh.
Looking for excuses again, huh?
I raised
Paimon,
my
shh.
hands just now
Quiet.
to indicate my acceptance of the trial. No
Yeah, I
duel
did this
shall
on
be
my
necessary.
own free will, which is exactly what Nouvellette wanted.
I will admit that I've been running away for a long time. I'm sorry, everyone. I was unable to protect the people of Poisson. It is my duty to stand trial
Okay.
for my crimes. You
All right.
are not the only ones to be disappointed in me. I, too, am exceedingly
There's some
disappointed
genuine
in myself.
feelings there. Okay, okay.
But now, it is time for the Hydro Archon to show you her courage and resolve. I, Furina, will use this trial to show the world the true meaning of justice.
She gonna try and clear her name for what she's done the past 100 years
This
to try and figure
time,
out the prophecy?
I will protect you.
It's going to be turned into a trial for
Applaud
Fontaine,
and
I'm sure.
rejoice. One of the most outrageous and fantastical arcs known to the opera epiclese is now unfolding before your eyes.
You got to make this as spectacular as
Mark
possible.
my words. This shall be one of the most exhilarating and brilliant shows ever to grace the stage of Fontaine. The trial of the Hydro Archon, Focalors, will now begin!
Woohoo! Oh, now we're making history.
Why does it feel like
Come
Furina
on.
just took over the
Do
whole
we really
thing?
got to lean into this?
Like, come on! Didn't she just get forced to stand trial for her crimes? Also, even though she's still acting super dramatic,
Oh, you know what?
she
Never mind,
is
never mind.
taking this seriously this time, right?
I totally was shitting on Linny, like, why did you bring us here? But this was the plan all along. I remember. It's all coming back to me. We set up this trap, and this is the trap, and we got moved. Yeah.
All right, then. Who will be my opponent in this trial?
Great question.
The court asks the prosecutor to please take the stand.
It's gonna be me. Thank you, Your Honor.
Is that so? Very well. Then please speak, witness of Tivat, my accuser and fated opponent.
Come on, speak. Voice line. So close to getting her to tell the truth, and it turned out like this in the end. It's okay, though. As long as we can defeat Furina in court, we still have a chance to figure everything out. Here we go. It's trial time, baby.
Also, please allow
I'm
me
glad
to
I ended the
ask
last stream
as a
when I did.
final question before the trial
Oh,
begins.
sure.
Just how much work did you do to force me onto this stage?
Everything.
Well, we did do a lot of prep after the meeting that day.
I wonder if you've brought the people down there to kind of like force her hand
I can
to
go
chase
over
her.
the tasks assigned to the Spina di Rosula, since they were rather straightforward and easy.
Navia, the president of the Spina di Rosula.
Most of the people who participated in the disturbance this morning were my subordinates.
Forced her out. Like the artwork there.
They changed into plain clothes and came to the opera house as regular
That's
audience
plain
members,
clothes? Looks
waiting
pretty
for
fancy
the
to me.
perfect opportunity to incite insurrection against you. The people's resentment against their archon has been building as more and more
Yeah, I'm
of
sure
the
it only
prophecy
takes a
is fulfilled.
spark.
A spark was all we needed to turn smoldering anger into a flame.
I've seen it happen. You get like 3 people or so to start like raising hell, and you can get a lot of others to join in
Moreover,
that wouldn't have
according
otherwise.
to our understanding and analysis of you, when something like that occurred, you would likely flee the scene and head to Poisson by yourself. So, we arranged for a second group to lie in wait there.
So, you mean the ones who scoured the settlement for me were also from the Spina?
And their goal was to force you to step into the giant,
giant magic
box,
box.
so you may personally participate in the greatest magic performance in all of Fontanian history.
I mean, yeah, good work, Lenny. That was pretty crazy.
That's right. That house was a magic box, rather than someone's residence.
As the super ultimate version of the setup that I used when I first performed at the Opera Epiclese,
Was there like an underground tunnel to connect the opera to Poisson?
the volume of the box was increased by a whole order of magnitude, and the distance it traversed was the entire gap between Poisson and Areneas. Its cargo, of course, was an Archon instead of a human.
That's wild.
My thanks, Furina. Without your help, we could never have pulled off such an extraordinary performance.
You're welcome?
Of course, this performance was only made possible with Father's support. The House
Oh,
of the Heart
shoot,
spent
yeah, I
a
bet.
massive amount of labor in Mora to pull this off.
That's kind of crazy that they did.
We had to select a location, construct the giant magic box, dig a tunnel,
I
and
like how
open up a
Lenny's like,
path
yes,
through the
this
water.
actually all
It
happened.
was a lot of work
In
for
the
all of
canon.
us.
In the canon, this actually all happened. It wasn't actually magic. We just did a lot of money and labor.
So, in other words, the earthquake that we felt within the giant magic box was just a normal tremor from the transportation of the whole house?
That's right. It wasn't a sign of another disaster to come.
Sorry about that. Now you won't trust us ever.
Then, I can guess Nervilette and Cloran's part. You gathered a crowd, prepared a stage, and made sure that the champion duelist would be immediately ready for a fight.
Make you to not back down from the trial.
So that as soon as
She
I appeared on the
brandishing
stage,
the iron
the trial may commence without a hitch. Am I right?
Indeed.
Yes, that is correct.
Well, Clorand, I must commend you for your courage. Only the most outstanding
She probably
champion duelist in all of
knew that
Fontaine
from
would
at least from
accept a duel
Arlecchino.
with an Archon without flinching.
Probably from Arlecchino, I imagine that like Furina is a little bit of a wimp, not quite the power level of an Archon.
Thank you.
As for you, traveler, I suppose your role was to keep me distracted with conversation once you found me in Poisson.
Well, tried to get the truth out of you before we had to come to this.
You'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor once we'd arrived onto the stage.
No, you guessed wrong.
Oh?
My mission was to give you one last chance. Yep. We hoped you'd share your secrets with us before the magic box arrived onto the stage.
Is that so? Then I suppose I must have missed my final chance.
You sure did. She's like, damn it.
It's fine. It matters not. What's done is done.
Are you sure about that?
The
You're back into a corner.
Is already set, so there's no reason to disappoint the audience. Let's see this trial through to the very end.
Okay, as you wish. Still can't help but be a little bothered by the conversation earlier. What did Furina want to say to me right before we arrived on the stage? I know, you couldn't have waited like a couple of minutes?
Sir Prosecutor, please allow me to pass this along. This is a document that Miss Charlotte applied for and received permission to share with you during the trial.
Oh.
According to her, it should speed up.
Huh? Charlotte wanted to give us something? Oh, so she's... Oh, let Paimon see.
Oh, exclusive interview.
Isn't this the exclusive interview that she did with us before? Wait, then that means this document is a perfect timeline of everything that's happened ever since we
that's
stepped foot in
nice.
Fontaine. So in other words, we can refer to this
The anthology of evidence. Yeah.
every time we want to use
Super
something
practical
from our various
gift.
evidence for... Let's quickly confirm the information in it. Just think of it as a
Oh
refresher.
boy, are we gonna have to like really walk through it, or?
You defeated the Hydro Archon in the very first duels you took part in at the Opera House.
I like how
That's
Charlotte's
one for
narrating
the
it.
history books, all right. I didn't think that you'd wind up getting to the bottom of the case I'd been following all this time. I guess you could also see this as a happy coincidence. This is the first time Monsieur Nervillette had a difference of opinion with the Oratrice. Even the Hydro Archon can't figure out the Tui Harbinger. She's an extraordinary person. The fortress of Meripede was almost destroyed in a single day. That I didn't witness that scene personally will always be a source of professional regret. According to Monsieur
The whale in a
Nervillette,
dream, right? Okay.
both Child and that whale should have been in the primordial sea at that time.
Correct.
I nearly lost my awesome friend Navia. To be honest,
Aw,
that still gives
awesome
me shivers.
friend.
I nearly lost my... The words of someone as extraordinary as a witch can probably only be
And the
truly
tea time with
understood
Anne.
when something surreal happens to you.
Okay. I want to make sure my stream's still going okay. Very good. Stream quality is good.
The prosecution and the defense are both in position. The trial shall now begin.
All right, let's do it.
Come on, Nervillette. There's no need to repeat all the unimportant
She's like, this is more like a performance than a trial.
Just fast forward
I don't
to
know
the
about
part where the prosecution lays out my offenses. As the defendant and the lead actress of this performance, I still haven't even been informed of my supposed guilt in all of this. Of course.
Oh, really?
It is only natural for humans to struggle to understand the
She's gonna need to
actions
prove
of a
that she did
god.
all she can
However,
to
you will need more than
avert
that
the
to convict
crisis.
me of a crime.
That's true. But my
There we
charge
go.
here is unrelated to your conduct as an Archon. Instead,
really?
I would like to charge you as a fraud who's never been the Archon in the first place.
Okay.
Wait, what was that? Lady Furina's a fraud?
Here we go.
I came here thinking that we were going to try the Hydro Archon for forsaking her duty, but did I hear that right? She's not our Archon at all?
There was rumors about this. Like, I feel every region, it's like a joke. Like, oh, the Archon's not the real Archon. Oh no, Archon's not the real Archon. And it kind of happened in Inazuma, and it kind of happened in Sumeru, but it didn't. And it kind of happened in Liyue. And now they're really just spelling it out.
Charge accepted.
I think it's a bogus charge, though.
Lady
It's just to
Furina,
put pressure.
do you plead guilty to the charge?
She's like,
Lady
no.
Furina.
I plead not guilty. How can I be guilty? There is no way that I, Focalors, otherwise known as Furina de Fontaine, a member of the Seven and the Regina of all waters, kindreds,
That's
peoples,
cool.
and
The
laws
two
of
halves of her
Fontaine, could be anything other than your true Archon.
Yeah. Even though Lady Furina can be rather eccentric.
Yeah, I've never questioned her identity either.
I have cause to believe that common sense will prevail in this case. Many of the members of the audience have known me as the Hydro Archon ever since they were born.
That's
There
kind of
would
the
be no
problem,
fooling
though,
their
right?
Memory.
They never really questioned it.
See? Even the Oratrice has decided to show me its favor.
Oratrice
Are
is
you
bogus.
sure you want to commit to a charge that will never be upheld? If you wish to drop the case, I can promise you as the god of justice that you will not have
This
to
is
face
a
trial
clear
for
sign of
making
guilt right
a
here.
false accusation. We will treat everything that's happened as a dramatic spectacle and move on with our lives.
She's giving us an out
What do you
because she
think
really doesn't want to be tried for this.
An argument with near impossible odds, huh? You have to not only refute Furina's claims, but also
Yep.
overturn the
Because it's the
long-held
people's beliefs
of the
that
people.
change the scales. People only believe you as their Archon because that's their long-held belief, exactly.
Well, I tried to give you the chance to surrender.
We tried to give you the chance
If
to
you
surrender
must
too.
persist, then let me ask. If you believe I'm not the Archon, then what manner of being do you think I am? And if I was not the Archon, then how did I manage to live for over 500 years?
You didn't. I don't know. Gotta think carefully. What do we know to be special about Furina exactly? She probed the Archon or believes to be possible to fire, but that she's actually afflicted with some sort of curse. Okay. She believes it's possible something happen. Okay. Why can Furina live so long despite her being human? Because she's cursed, I guess? Okay, blah. Yeah, this is the only one that would be possible.
First of all, you may be a member of another long-lived race, which would allow you to naturally
We have to prove all these
possess an
claims,
extended
by the way.
lifespan. And second of all, even if that wasn't the case, there could be other ways to extend your life.
Such as a curse.
Who gave you that idea? Was it the knave?
Yeah,
You
actually.
sink so low as to use a harbinger's words against me.
Only what matters is the veracity of the claim.
A curse? I once thought it possible that the aura of an Archon might naturally resemble a type of curse.
Or of an Archon or any Archon? Or this Archon?
But in light of this claim, perhaps what I sensed was not your divinity, but a curse after all.
You sensed it too, huh, Nervalet?
Instead of an Archon, could you just be a cursed human?
Lady Furina is actually a human?
Nah. There's more to this.
Well, it is true that it's extremely difficult to tell humans and gods
Unless
apart just by looking at them. It's not impossible.
Fontaine Archon is truly just straight up gone. And everyone is an Oceanid. It's just but only one of them is like actually, or was propped up to be special, even though she's not.
Well, don't start celebrating too early now.
You gotta prove this curse.
Even if I have been carrying a curse like you said, how does that prove that I am
Also true.
merely a human being? Besides, Everyone knows that the main difference between a human and a god is the possession of authority. Gods can do what humans cannot.
Exactly.
That's why they're worshipped as gods.
Correct. Correct. But there are a lot of things you can't do.
For centuries, manifestations of my authority have served the nation of Fontaine. One need only to turn their eyes towards the
No, don't point that out, because you don't even know how that works.
Very opera house. Or consider the indemnitium that is used in every aspect of life.
One trial proved the opposite. Yep. Yep. That is not the best example.
You tried to reference the Oratrice. But weren't you as confused as all the rest of us when the Oratrice declared Child to be guilty without any proof? Otherwise, you should have come up with a good explanation for that by now.
Didn't I make myself clear at the time? The decisions of the gods are naturally difficult for humans to comprehend. There is no
Why don't you
need
try
to
it?
provide an
You can't.
explanation.
Lady Furina, I believe a reminder of your current circumstances is in order. While the court is in session, the principles of justice and the law must come before all else. While you are an Archon, you are also first and foremost the defendant in this trial. You will prove yourself unable to defend against the prosecution's charges if you continue to withhold vital information against the rules of the court.
Interesting. Interesting. How will we know, though?
I never thought you'd use that kind of rhetoric against me.
That was no trick of rhetoric, Lady Furina. I've merely reiterated the
It's just
rules
the
of court.
rules, my guy.
Rules that all should respect and follow.
No one is above the law. True.
So, you neither knew why Child was declared guilty, nor did you understand the structure and operations of the Oratrice.
She's like, I didn't build it.
Instead
What do
of
you want me to
having
do?
been created by you, the manifestations of authority you mentioned have been made by the real Hydro Archon, haven't they?
The real Hydro Archon. Well, now you're really losing me. It is true that I did not know why the Oratrice gave out a guilty verdict.
She didn't have to build it. There's been 2 Hydro Archons.
But the Oratrice handed out that verdict unilaterally. And it has been operating independently ever since it was first created.
True, it's not out of the ordinary, but she still doesn't know why.
That just because a divine creation is flawed, that the god behind it must also be no god at all.
She's still throwing out all kinds of excuses. Seems like she's confident that we won't be able to produce proof that she has no power over the Oratrice.
I mean, we don't. Put the Oratrice aside for now, but then, Miss Furina, could you give us a brief demonstration of your power as an Archon?
My power as an Archon. There are many ordinary citizens in the audience. How can I just carelessly
She really can't
demonstrate
do
the
anything.
formidable power of an Archon?
Make like a Hydro manifestation.
If that poses a concern, I'm prepared to extend my protection to the audience.
Thank you, Nicolette.
You don't need to go that far.
Brief demonstration of your power over Hydro should be quite harmless. Surely an Archon can at least match the capacities of a human with the vision.
Aren't you the Hydro Archon? Or is it that you can't even wield the power of Hydro, much less the authority of a
I didn't
god?
think she was that powerless. Holy moly.
Indemnitium! Yes! It's all because of Indemnitium! All Archons derive their power from the faith of the people, and I've converted the people's faith in justice into Indemnitium!
Okay, I mean, good excuse. That was pretty quick on the fly, but that's kind of reaching.
Thus did I give up all of my divine power to provide everyone with energy for their daily lives. Have you ever seen a more magnanimous god?
I mean, we went from show us your power, no, I'll kill everyone, to oh no, I actually don't have power because I gave it all up for the people. Really grasping at straws.
Isn't that a huge stretch?
Exactly.
Yeah, no matter how generous an Archon can be, how could they give up all their power? Can a god with no power even still be called a god?
I mean, good question. Uh-oh.
It seems like nobody's buying Furina's excuse.
Hey, come now, everyone. Please don't stare at me as if I was a liar.
Your first time up on the defendant stage?
I'm still the same Furina you knew, right? The one that you loved. Shouldn't you want to believe in me?
It was kind of under false pretenses. Might makes right.
Please? You've got to believe me.
If what the prosecutor said is true, she really has committed a grave offense.
Did she deceive all of us? And all of our parents and grandparents too? And all of our ancestors? Ever since they were born?
Big yikes.
Enough. That's enough. Tell me then, if I'm not the real
She died a
Hydro
long
Archon,
time ago.
then who is? If you have no evidence of another Hydro Archon's existence, nor can you find anyone who can back
Maybe
up
there's
their
not
claim
one
to be
anymore.
such, then what grounds have you to say that I'm not actually the real deal?
Wow, she came up with yet another argument. How can we refute her now? Seems like she really doesn't want to give up.
Yeah, I imagine we're just gonna out her entire identity to everyone. We can't prove that she isn't the Archon. We can try to prove that she is just a human. And if she's only human, then but over the years, okay. Maybe this one? The protection of dead members. What evidence can prove that Furina is a human? Maybe because she didn't know this was gonna happen? I guess? Yeah, I picked the right one, apparently.
That doesn't sound right.
Okay, never mind. Not that one. Declare the accusation level against him. Okay. None of these have to do with Furina. Maybe this one?
It has been established that all Fontanians can dissolve in water from the primordial sea.
So we should just splash her with primordial water? Is that what you're thinking?
Since you insist on claiming to be a god and not a human, then there's a method that you can use right here and now to eliminate all suspicions of you being the latter.
We're really going to... If this is wrong, you're just going to become water. Oh, and that's why... Okay, I know what cutscenes.
Miss Navia, please apply to serve as a temporary attorney for the prosecution before addressing the court.
Thank you,
Though you act in partnership with the prosecutor, you must still adhere to proper procedure.
Super sorry, Monsieur Chief Justice. Now, I've brought some seawater from Poisson. As everyone knows, a massive flood struck the area not long ago, taking many lives, including those of some of my closest friends. So, Miss Furina, would you dare to touch some of this seawater? If we are to believe that you are indeed the real Hydro Archon, touching this seawater would have no effect on you. All it should do is strengthen your case.
She's like,
But if you don't dare to touch it, then we would have basically proved the reverse. Oh, and I must remind you that after the disaster at Poisson, nobody wants to see any more people dissolve. I do hope you'll act prudently and choose the simpler path of admitting guilt.
Okay.
Navia from the Spina di Rasula. The Spina has governed Poisson for many years.
If Lady Furina is indeed just a human, she's probably Fontanian like all the rest of us.
Okay, would she really dare to try? Indeed. She has to. And we'll find out. Furina, she's like scared. Does she really believe
Lady
her own
Furina, this test has been unilaterally proposed by the prosecution. As it falls outside the realm of standard court proceedings, you possess the right to decline participation.
You can back down, but only you'll lose the faith of everyone in the court.
Well, of course he had to tell her that. But refusing to participate is basically the same as a confession of guilt.
What a shrewd trick.
She's just staring at the water without saying a single word. It really does seem like she's quite terrified of it.
And she's gonna do it
That
too.
could
She's
only
gonna do
mean...
What's going on? Is she really planning to...
Her conviction is that
It's
strong.
not what we thought she would...
No, this is exactly what she would do. The pressure she's under, I would not be surprised. Just like, rather than admit I'm a fraud to everyone, I'm just gonna off myself. Just gonna unalive. And like, so she wouldn't have to face anyone. It's really the only choice.
Due to the inherent risk of the test, Lady Furina, you may.
They're like, you don't have to, just say the truth. And she's like, nah, man, I'm out. I'm not gonna stick around and face the consequences.
Hey!
Nothing's happening.
I'm fine! Look at me, everyone! My hand is still here! I haven't been dissolved!
Cool!
Will you believe me now? I really am your Archon! I'm nothing like a normal human who would fall apart as soon as they touch this water! Really? Was this not the most obvious thing in the world?
Okay.
Miss Siegeween? If you are present, Miss Siegeween, please come forward and attend to the defendant.
Oh, she's gonna...
Siegeween? Don't be nervous. It'll just take a few seconds.
Is she gonna show signs of the primordial water sickness?
That should be enough.
Please announce the results of your evaluation to the court.
Okay, this is...
Siegeween.
I mean, it's gonna be an evaluation that, oh, she's showing signs of the primordial water sickness, but really... Okay.
As everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Furina was displaying symptoms of hyperventilation and flushed skin. These indicate that she was experiencing the adverse effects of exposure to primordial seawater.
She should have just dissolved.
Affected is the same as other humans when exposed to primordial seawater of a similar concentration.
If she really... They really wanted to do this this test right, they would have used real primordial seawater. But I guess they, on the off chance she touched the water, they didn't really want to dissolve her. Okay.
Thank you, Miss Siegeween. Lady Furina, you may return to the defendant's stand.
So we're kind of still at an impasse. She didn't dissolve, but she is showing the symptoms of primordial seawater like a human.
Oh, wait. What did she just say? I didn't get dissolved. Shouldn't that be enough to prove my innocence?
Yeah, I'd be pissed too. I'd be like, what?
Well, considering your tendency to run from your problems, we did originally prepare a direct sample of the seawater around Poisson. However, after extensive discussion, we exchanged it for a sample that is not concentrated enough to dissolve an actual human. After all, on the off chance that something entirely unexpected might occur,
you would not
we
immediately
don't
dissolve.
want anyone else to lose their life to the sea.
Yeah, so out of regard for Furina's life, you secured a low concentration sample and asked the head nurse to serve as an expert witness.
I guess expert witness is fine.
It's a great thing that the direct sample wasn't actually used. Furina could have...
I can't believe...
You made me think I was actually a god for a second. What's really going on here? Furina can't have not known the consequences of touching that water as a human. No, she wanted to leave. She was okay dying. She wanted to be free. It's just too unlike how she usually reacts. No, it's not. Unless it's actually more important for her to keep her facade than to save her own life. Exactly. Ya miscalculated, my guy. Her facade is her life. That's the point. But hadn't she given up on everything a long time ago?
Listen to me, everyone. Please don't give me such cold and disdainful looks. What happened just now didn't prove a single thing. Think about it. How can you conclusively prove that an Archon can't also be affected by the primordial seawater?
I mean, fair point.
Also, if I was really just a human, why would I dare to just put my hand in that kind of water?
No, they don't believe her.
Please, everyone, anyone, just listen to me. I swear, I really am your Archon.
Oh, she's losing it. Oh, this is hard to watch. Oh, no. No one believes her. trial's about to end. She's gonna snap.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone. The odds are just too stacked against her now.
With all the things that have been said, Paimon doesn't think there's any way left for Furina to win.
Ooh, there is. And that's to flip the game board.
I believe the time for arguments and presentation of evidence has come to an end. If there are no objections, we will move on to the final judgment.
Here we go.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone. She's too stacked against her now.
This is the classic Ace Attorney witness unravel. Or defendant unravel. I guess not defendant. The person who's actually guilty.
In my capacity as Chief Justice, I shall now render judgment on Furina's misrepresentation of herself as the Archon of Fontaine. As a human who knowingly deceived her fellow citizens, Furina is...
She's all alone. And when she's all alone, there's nothing left.
Guilty.
Facade is broken. You had one last chance.
We shall now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal to render the final verdict on the charges.
I wonder if it'll say not guilty. That would be wild. Ching!
According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal, Furina is...
Here we go.
Well, what's wrong? What's the Oratrice's
Did
verdict?
the Oratrice just declare Furina to be innocent?
No. The Oratrice also displays a guilty verdict.
Oh, he's just surprised. Oh, no.
Isn't that correct then?
He just doesn't want to believe it. I think he's holding out some sort of hope that we were all wrong.
However, the exact wording of the verdict is thus. The Hydro Archon, guilty.
I think your thing is broken. The Hydro Archon, guilty.
To be punished via the death sentence.
Oh. Okay. But she's not... She's not the Hydro Archon, though. We're asking about Furina? Do you have a verdict for Furina?
The death sentence?
That's actually one of the available sentences? I've always thought that it was just a myth.
Oh, that's the first time they've done a death sentence.
The one and only time the death sentence has been handed out at the court. And it's been given to the very person we've worshipped as the god of justice? What an unexpected twist.
What the twist?
Furina's been sentenced to death by the Oratrice? We just wanted to use the trial to show her the seriousness of things so she'd tell us the truth. How did things escalate this quickly?
There's one variable no one could control. That was the Oratrice.
This outcome is indeed quite strange. According to Fontaine's current definitions of justice, as well as its recommendations for criminal sentences, is this sentence really appropriate for the crimes that have been committed?
I mean, not really.
Yeah, even Fauché wasn't sentenced to death by the Oratrice. You know, the real evil
That's
mastermind
true,
behind
Paimon.
the serial disappearances case.
Instead of Furina, the Oratrice rendered a judgment on the Hydro Archon. I agree that's more strange.
Indeed. Not only is Furina's sentence overly excessive, the very point of our trial today was also to prove that Furina has never
so the
been
death
the Hydro
sentence
Archon
doesn't
in the
even
first
apply
place.
to Furina. It applies to, quote-unquote, the Hydro Archon, who is already dead.
But now, the Oratrice seems to have deliberately invoked the title of the Hydro Archon. What does this mean?
Oh boy. When you can't understand your own legal system, you're in trouble.
Excuse me, if I may interrupt.
Hey, Fremine. Wow, he is interrupting.
The trial still going?
Fremine! Huh, you finally made it. I assume this means you've completed your mission?
Mm-hmm. Any mission Father assigns to me will always be top priority.
Brings a stone slate onto the stage. Oh, there it is.
The first prophecy slate?
Yeah.
Interesting. So the knave privately arranged for Fremine to try and find
Wow,
the
that was
missing
convenient.
slate.
I looked everywhere and finally found it at the bottom of the sea. It took me a long time to get around some dangerous stretches of water, but has the trial already concluded? Then, doesn't that mean I've come too late?
Yeah, the mystery is nowhere near resolved.
No.
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Fremine. Please allow me to review the record left on the slate.
So the Archon is giving...
Traveler, I believe that you have already seen the other existing slates. I would like you to come here and confirm their contents.
Huh? So what do you see? What is it?
It's the Hydro Archon, for sure. The previous Hydro Archon releasing her divine power, turning the Oceanids into human beings. Yeah, okay.
I believe I've now made sense of the Hydro Archon's crime. It has to do with Fontaine's lost history.
Exactly. Yeah, so the previous Hydro Archon was declared guilty.
Huh? Isn't the Hydro Archon just guilty of deceiving her people? Oh, wait, no, that's Furina, and we've already proven that she's not the Hydro Archon.
Exactly. No, the Hydro Archon did deceive her people, because her people believe they're human, and they're not.
So when you say Hydro...
Oh. Whoa. That was weird.
Excuse me, if I may interrupt.
Good thing I didn't have to go back that far. That was weird.
Fremine, you finally made it.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like my stream's still going. Weird.
Is that...
I looked but has the trial...
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Fremine. Please allow me... Traveler,
We really need
that you have already seen the
quick text option to like skip animations.
So what do you see? What is it?
It probably has to do with like the next scene is loading as the previous one is running. So if you skip too quick, like you'd have loading times and it like that wouldn't work. That's my guess. Anyway, this looks like
I believe I've now
beings.
So when you say Hydro Archon, do you mean the real Hydro Archon we've been kind of talking about?
We've been kind of talking about? Yeah, the previous one, who's already died.
Everything that you've encountered in Fontaine up until this point can be traced back to the contents of these stone slates. However, I'm uncertain as to how much sense they currently make to you.
An association between the contents of the slates and the events in real life.
Let's try to recall the contents of the other 3 stone slates.
Are we doing a different? Okay, here we go. You can find scenarios related to the stone slate's contents and the incidents recorded. And the interview notebook as the verification process continues to find the level and the menu could arise. Truth behind the prospects will be revealed. Okay.
The first stone slate describes what you just said. It seems to show the previous Hydro Archon using her divine power, and then the Oceanids turn into human. Does that mean that Fontanians are transformed Oceanids?
Indeed.
Oh, Paimon wasn't expecting that.
I was.
But if Oceanids can turn into humans, then perhaps this process can be reversed as well. The
Absolutely.
second stone slate shows Celestia floating in the sky, and the Hydro Archon and her people worshipping it together. But the heavens still brought judgment down upon
Because there were Oceanids. She turned her Oceanids into real people, and that probably went against one of the heavenly principles.
This must be the point when the Hydro Archon and the Fontanians were branded with their original sin. Does this mean that the original sin and the Hydro Archon sin are the same thing?
Yeah, maybe.
The third slate shows the Hydro Archon sinking into the sea surrounded by many people. That reminds Paimon, didn't we also watch that happen to someone else?
Sinking into the sea, you mean Navia?
Well, the fourth slate is the prophecy the Fontanians have been talking about. People dissolving into the sea, the Hydro Archon crying on her throne, and so on. We didn't believe that such a crazy disaster could happen at first, did we? But after that incident, it was just a question of when and not if.
I wonder if this is the last one is actually the first one. That'd be kind of crazy. Where like Hydro Archon is crying on her throne, so she makes a people out of the water, and then the heavenly principles are like, nah, F that. and then renders judgment upon the Hydro Archon. And then we go back to the fourth one. It could be a cycle like that. Verify truth, and that is going to be this one.
We know from the case of the serial disappearances of young women that Fontanians can be dissolved in primordial seawater, and the first stone slate tells us that long ago, the Hydro Archon used her power to turn Oceanids into humans. This might be the reason that Fontanians can dissolve.
Exactly. It must be that then their power to use like Numa and Usia, Usia and Numa must be related to them actually being Oceanids. Okay, the judgment still is brought upon them. Okay, where's the judgment? Oh, maybe it's this. Maybe that's because of the conviction. Archon be punished via death sentence. Well, maybe it's this one actually.
Perhaps what is about to take place
has all happened before. Yep.
And the original sin cast down on the people of Fontaine by Celestia.
It's like one of the few voice
recorded
lines
on the stone slates.
Yep. Can I listen to it again? No, I can't. Fine. Shows the Hydro Archon sinking into the sea surrounded by many people. This would be Navia.
It's not as simple as falling into the sea. When Navia fell into the sea, her consciousness was subjected to judgment. The stone slates show the people gathered around the Hydro Archon in the sea. Could that be alluding to the same thing?
Like the consciousness was... There was a trial in the consciousness of water. The collective consciousness of water. Fontaine's eventually dissolved in the sea. The Hydro Archon will sit upon throne. I'm assuming this is like, hey, we know where it's coming from. It's coming from the Fortress of Meripede.
The prophecy from the stone slates found its way into society, but not many people believed it at first. If we hadn't dealt with it in time,
I keep wanting to press.
Could have gone very badly.
Yeah.
They'll dissolve into the primordial sea, but won't cease to exist. Their essence will flow in the seawater, converge, and take the form of an Oceanid. The Hydro Archon was sentenced to death in court, shocking everyone present. Perhaps this means that her sin was actually Fontaine's original sin. Navia fell into the water inside those ruins, and she nearly dissolved. She was surrounded by the people of Poisson in a court within her consciousness, and was forced to take part in a trial meant to make her stay. The eruption of the primordial sea at the Fortress of Meripede was the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass no matter what. The prophecy's contents can all be verified by recent events. If we combine what we know together, loads of truths should come to light.
Are we gonna like order these now? Okay, verification complete. Oh, gotta leave. All right.
Huh? Oh, Paimon gets it now. So that's how you can make sense of it. But then it feels like we're going to have to share some truths.
Yeah, I think we are.
Let's hear them.
The first slate reveals that Fontanians are not real humans. All of you are not human. Congratulations.
Incredible. Linny, did you hear that?
We're not real humans.
All Fontanians were originally created by the late previous Hydro Archon, with Oceanids.
I mean, humans are like 70% water, so it's not that much of a stretch.
The evidence for that can be found in how only Fontanians could dissolve in primordial seawater, and how all the girls Vache
I mean, we're the only one who got to see that part.
Oceanids. Oh, and according to Navia, when she was about to get dissolved, she also saw everyone gathered around
That's
for a
important,
trial,
because that's a second person who's also seen the same
shape of
phenomenon.
Oceanids.
Indeed.
Second slate reveals that the crime of the Hydro Archon was her creation of the Fontanians from Oceanids. Exactly right.
Yeah, and it follows from the content of the first slate that she probably angered Celestia by creating humans without prior permission. That could also explain why the Oratrice judged the Hydro Archon to be guilty. It's to account for that ancient sin.
The Hydro Archon's true sin was creating us?
And yet,
She
after many
wanted
hundreds
to
of
be
years,
a god without being
the
a
Hydro
god?
Archon's
Or a
creations
different
have
god?
turned around to try to judge the Archon within the Opera Epiclese.
Ooh, yikes. Yep.
The twists of history are often the most unexpected of all.
Goes around, comes around. As for the third slate, I'm still convinced it should come after the fourth slate. Oh, the Hydro Archon is going to fall into the water and be judged by her people after they are all dissolved.
Yeah, isn't the image here just like when Navia fell into the sea? So wouldn't it be trying to show the image of the Hydro Archon also falling into the sea once the prophecy has been fulfilled in the fourth slate?
And the fourth slate depicts the fulfillment of the prophecy as it's already widely known. I have a feeling that's going to be different, though.
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain weeping on
Yeah,
their
but that's not
throne.
Furina.
Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away. Did Paimon get all that right?
Correct.
You've made some keen deductions. I must say, given how much you still don't know, it is impressive that you've already managed to connect so many pieces of the truth.
Do you know anything
However,
we don't know, Nouvelette?
While you were able to decode all the information on the slates, they've also been etched with an additional layer of hidden information using a different power
Thank
source.
you, Nouvelette, for uncovering this MacGuffin.
When we were at the ruins, I tried to decipher the hidden information recorded in the slates. But since we only had 3 slates at the time, I was unable to come to a full conclusion. Now that the slate collection is complete, I shall make another attempt to decipher the narrative recorded within. If everything goes well, we should finally be informed of the unadulterated truth.
Do it, Nuvi.
Well, did you get it?
I believe I should share this truth not only with you, but with all the people of Fontaine as well. I will try to briefly summarize it for you. Your hypotheses regarding the origin of Fontanians and the sin of the Hydro Archon were both correct. In the Fontaine of Old, the previous Hydro Archon sensed the yearning of her Oceanid familiars for life on land. The Oceanids were enamored with the beauty and romanticism of human beings, and wishing to have those experiences for themselves, expressed to the Hydro Archon their desire to become of a similar kind. However, even though water as an element is intricately linked with the power of life, the Hydro Archon, as one of the 7, did not possess the authority to create a new form of human life.
But she said, fuck it.
Not one to give in. She eventually found a way to create permanent humanoid bodies for her familiars by appropriating the power of this planet's primordial sea.
And the primordial sea comes from the abyss, I
She
bet.
poured primordial seawater into the Oceanids' blood vessels, creating humanoid mimics in the process. But if Fontanians were to ever come into direct contact with water from the primordial sea, the power within their bodies would escape these artificial restraints and return to the sea. As a result, their forms would collapse, and they would be reverted to their original forms as Oceanids.
So I wonder how reproduction works then. What if a Fontanian has a child with someone else? Like it's someone from a different nation. There's a lot of questions here.
Of course, the Hydro Archon never received permission from the heavenly principles to create a new human race. And thus, the Hydro Archon and all of her creations came to shoulder the original sin of appropriating the power of the primordial sea. That is the true history of how the people of Fontaine first came into being.
And they're like,
So we were all Oceanids before we turned into human beings?
that would create immediate chaos in the audience, right?
That's way too much information for me. I think I'm just going to pretend that I never heard a single thing.
I'm just gonna ignore all this wildly crazy
Wait, but if
information.
that's the truth, we can't let the Hydro Archon be sentenced to death. After all, her only sin was creating us.
This really might be too much information for
yeah,
a
you
regular
think?
Fontanian, but it does answer a lot of our questions.
Alas, your hypothesis regarding the third and fourth stone slates was inaccurate. The slates' respective positions are, in fact, correct.
Yeah, what is the third slate supposed to represent? Yeah.
A key point of the visual on the third slate is how all
Are
the
humans.
individuals
Okay, yeah,
depicted
yeah.
in the water are humans rather than Oceanids.
Oh, is part of the prophecy that all the humans are going to throw Furina into the water?
They have not been dissolved, which implies that the water depicted in this slate is not water from the primordial sea.
Oh,
The nation of Fontaine is the nation of Hydro, as well as the nation of Trials and Justice.
Or did we
Instead
just
of
fulfill
being
that
a
third
literal
slate?
element, the water in the scene symbolizes judgment and justice.
Ah, so we just did the third slate.
You may also recall Navia's experience. When she fell into the sea, her consciousness was surrounded by that of many others who intended to hold a trial to determine her fate. Therefore, the meaning of the third slate is that the people of Fontaine shall try the Hydro Archon at the court of justice.
Whoops, that's our bad.
Yes, it refers to our present situation.
I think I'm following now. So, what you're saying is, even though we decided to put on this trial to avoid fulfilling the prophecy,
We done played
in
ourselves.
truth, everything we've done has happened exactly as the prophecy foretold. So now, it seems, we're the ones making sure it comes true.
What should we do?
It feels like there's no other way out of this.
Huh. No matter what, the prophecy will be fulfilled. Is this what it feels like to be a prisoner of fate?
If that's the case, does that mean the scene in the fourth slate will also
I mean,
be fulfilled soon?
it all was over a span of 100 years, or hundreds of years. I mean, maybe it might be 100 years before the fourth slate's fulfilled.
Traveler, I would like to point out another small fallacy in your deduction about the fourth slate. You probably thought that the eruption of primordial seawater beneath the fortress of Meripede served as the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass, yes?
Yeah.
However, I believe that rather than being a sure sign, that eruption could in fact only be a small warning of something far worse to come.
Okay.
As for the root cause of the catastrophe, I believe you've already encountered it once before.
I have? Was it... Is it the Abyss? Is it the Fall of Conria? Oh, here we go. What's the
This
true
eruption
source of
was
the
just a
catastrophe?
small warning of the things to come. We must find the root cause of the disaster.
Yeah, we do. What could be the true source of the catastrophe? I have to pick one of these. Oh, the Hydro Archon being sentenced to death? Because it already happened, and now there's no Archon in Fontaine. There's no Gnosis. There's no authority over water. And so now things are just going to start falling apart? Oh. Just kidding. I gotta do this. Probably the whale? Which the Meripede is. The whale
It was
in the dream.
both dream and reality.
If we're talking about a true culprit, that could only be that thing inside the primordial sea.
So now we gotta go beat it up. Gotcha.
The truth, the original sin, the trial, and the root cause of the disaster.
It's all the Abyss. Probably using the primordial seawater to create the humans kind of set this all into motion. Gave the Abyss power to do this. Oh. Wow. That was just convenient. It's happening now. Get him, Nuvalet. Big yomp. Ooh, good impact frames. Look at its tail. It's got that like geometric stuff going on. Yomp. Yo, let's go, child. Oh, it is. I was gonna say diluted form. No, in his delusion form. Nope, it's still there. Oh, my boy's a little tie-tie. Okay, well we better hop in there. Let's go. It's time to go.
That was way too close. How did that thing just burst into the opera house? Wait, was that the huge
Sure
whale
was.
you saw in your dream?
That's also the one Child saw when he was young.
So we've met it at last. I understand very well why it has chosen to make an appearance here. That whale does not belong to Tevat. It is a monster that has traversed the stars, weeping all the while. It has been greedily consuming the energy from the planet's primordial sea, using it to grow. That is the main cause for the rising sea levels. And once it has finished consuming all of the energy contained within the sea, its next step will be
to eat everyone
you said
else.
That when the Hydro Archon first created Fontanians out of Oceanids, she filled their blood vessels with primordial seawater.
That whale's gonna eat everyone.
Precisely. That whale finds the blood of Fontanians nigh
Why does this
impossible
whale
to resist.
exist? Why does it like primordial seawater? I don't get it.
When it left the primordial sea, it decided to make its next stop a packed opera house full of food. Food in the form of Fontanians.
We just barely managed to push it back, right? In that case, won't it come back to target the people again once it's managed to recover its strength?
That is correct. Indeed, it is more accurate to say that we should thank that Harbinger for buying us some time. Without him, the whale would have likely come onto land far sooner. From the way he looked, he must have been fighting the creature for quite a long time.
That battle maniac. We've always known that he had a special connection with that whale, but we definitely didn't expect it to happen.
How long has it been? Hasn't it been like a week or two? Is that why in the actual like storyline it's canon that it waited multiple days just to give weight to the fact that he's been chilling with that whale for this entire time?
We know that this whale is the actual cause of the disaster recorded in the prophecy? All we need to do to stop the prophecy would be to find a way to beat it up, right?
It is
exactly,
too late.
Paimon. Wow, what do you mean?
It had already absorbed too much of the primordial sea's energy before we could notice it. At this point, it has become practically integrated with the sea itself.
Oh, come on. Don't be so
Even
pessimistic.
if the entirety of Tevat were to be destroyed, it could still survive and swim off towards some other world.
Yeah, but I'm not from this world, so I'm not a part of this prophecy. They didn't factor me in.
That's not something I will accept. We've already done everything we can, and we even found the true culprit. We've come
Navia.
so far. You can't just tell me that the last hurdle is some impossible foe. That's just not fair.
Indeed.
We're all gonna die anyway.
Performance should end.
I'll fight it to the end, no matter what.
So the prophecy will be fulfilled no matter what, huh?
No, we got one last thing to show.
The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesized will be fulfilled. You may view such things as the history of the future.
After everything, it still turned out like this. We couldn't fight against fate. But if this is all about fate...
Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, could things be happening in hidden corners where the gods' gaze does not fall? Ultimately,
the abyss.
Fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what will happen in Tevat's future. All you need to do
is to play your part.
Even if the prophecy will be fulfilled, there's still a way to save everyone. There's a loophole. What is it she wanted to say to me at the last moment? What is her real secret? The real secret. Time to go. Probably has something to do with the oratories.
What's happening with the oratories?
It's kicking in emergency procedures.
It is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
Oh shit!
Furina!
Get your girl. Yeah, she is not care.
No, I still need answers.
Excuse me. Yo! The death sentence is happening! Oh boy. This is the real Hydro Archon? Oh, she looks so pretty. Furina?
Sorry. That shocked expression on your face is just too amusing. I couldn't help myself.
You are not Furina. Who are you?
She's Focalors.
The sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous. A sure sign that my attempt to deceive everyone was a resounding success. But to answer your question, I am Focalor. You know, the god.
You know, the god.
Focalor. Why did you deceive us?
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. Goodness, no.
She had a death
I
sentence.
to
She had to
fool
disappear.
Everyone else too, if I was to stand any chance of deceiving.
The heavenly principles.
The heavenly principles.
Yeah, exactly. Yo!
Deceiving the heavenly principles.
She had to fake her death to the gods themselves. Unbelievable.
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. Fontaine condemned to be flooded. One was not amused. In fact, one was positively bemused when that problem was thrust upon me by my dearest predecessor. That's the former Hydro Archon Egeria for the uninitiated. It hardly gets more disastrous than a preordained national catastrophe. Now,
That's true. That's true. There's not many things more disastrous than taking control over a nation and then only to find out that, hey, it's gonna be shit. It ain't gonna last very long.
She knew full well that the prophecy would surely come to pass.
And just kicked the can down the road? Left it to the next administration?
And as one of the seven, she also knew full well that one defies the heavenly principles at one's peril. So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather impossible situation that I found myself in. I spent a terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor. And I was almost growing barnacles by the time I finally realized there was only one possible solution to this confounding conundrum.
To disappear.
I had to outwit the heavenly principles, allow the prophecy to be fulfilled, ostensibly at least, while saving everyone at the same time.
And how did you
I'm
do
a
that?
genius, I know. I can only assume that's why Egeria chose me as her successor. Although, looking back now,
Interesting.
it was hardly the inheritance one dreams of. Between the task of saving the nation, the quotidian duties of the Hydro Archon, and not to
Quotidian?
mention the original sin of creating a new race of humans, I dare say she left me quite a colossal mess to clean up.
I dare say so too.
But one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I chose to be one of her Oceanid familiars.
So you were also once one of the Oceanids, transformed into a human by Egeria's hand.
The smartest of them all.
Yes, I was. I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do, even now. In my eyes, to be human is to be part of the greatest opera ever known.
Such small lives, so much change in the blink of an eye.
After becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive and bewildered as my past self on her first day as a human being. The me you see before you now is that divinity. And the human counterpart I left behind, I named Furina. She could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. She could be as vain and conceited, or as meek and vulnerable as she wished.
What a... It's not a great existence,
Her
not gonna lie.
strengths were of a kind only a human could possess, as were her shortcomings. But in my eyes, Furina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human in every way. The person I always wanted to be.
Damn, so Focalors thought Furina was free. But Furina thought she was definitely not free. Ugh, brutal. Focalors really thought she had made her perfect self, and it was in no way perfect.
Anyway,
she
so
suffered.
then I cursed her.
So then I cursed her. Yeah,
All
okay.
part of the plan, of course. The plan to deceive the heavenly principles. Do you still remember the final scene of the prophecy? The Hydra Archon alone, weeping on her throne. In order that the prophecy might appear fulfilled, I invited Furina to be an actress, to play the part of the Hydro Archon in the prophecy.
To deceive even the heavenly principles upon which would give her the judgment.
Under the curse I placed on her, so long as I, Focalors' divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But nor was she free to live her life in the pursuit of happiness. Instead, she was forced to take the stage in the opera house, to embrace the role of leading lady, to forever play the part of the god from the prophecy, all to create a deceitful appearance of that prophecy coming to pass. I suppose now you probably understand why your court is called the Opera Epiclese.
Because all of it is fake?
But Furina
all of it is a
only
stage?
Human, isn't she? Even though she has had a long life, her mind is no stronger than that of any other ordinary human being.
She's lived a long time.
I cannot begin to fathom what she has had to endure. It must have been torture for her.
It has indeed. And although she is, in a sense, me in human form, I most definitely
That's some serious self-hatred.
apology for it. It's been 500 years.
Yeah.
And all along,
That's far too long.
She's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely, and agonizingly painful opera of all time.
Yikes. And in the end, she still got outsmarted. It came into contact with Furina's tears. Remember correctly, tears often contain the being's strongest emotions. Sufficiently strong hydrosensitivity, I can form an emotional connection just like I did with the Oceanid at the Fountain of Lucina. Oh, okay. Could this be Furina's inner world? On the stage. Why is she doing on stage? Wait. Probably isn't Furina. That's likely a reflection of her inner self. Can speak direct to itself. Yeah. You can get what you need to know without having to go through to the actual world. Just want to talk. No need to do anything crazy. Just wanna have a quick chat.
Oh, who permitted you to come onto this stage? Now, I understand your admiration for my august self, but I must
I prefer
ask
your
you
July
to keep
self,
to the
to be honest.
rules.
Come on, it's me.
All right. It is not my intent to reprimand
don't
you.
look at me.
There is no need to state your name. Just be off with you. Do not distract me from my performance.
Yeah, there's no one watching you.
Oh, do not jest. Can you not feel it?
It's so sad. She just wants to be left alone.
I am Focalors. The eyes of countless Fontanians are upon me. I must, at all times, display the utmost elegance and nobility.
Mm-hmm. At all times. Bro. Exhausting. Even in her heart of hearts, she's still playing the role of the Hydra Archon. Yeah. She's internalized it to her core. 500 years of practice, my dude. 500 years. 500 years of emotional scarring. Let's click these things off.
Dear audience, the performance is experiencing a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon enough.
No, they won't. There we go. One.
Hey, what gives? The audience is still watching me, you know.
No, they're not. They're all gonna die.
Where are the guards? Guards!
Chains, shackles. And what's the last one? Furina's heart. They must have symbolized the eyes of the people on her. Speaking of which, I think I just received some sort of signal. Was that her true voice? A ticket? Do we get a ticket to the opera? Ah, we get to take our own seat. Either way, it looks like the show's about to begin. In that case, show me how you really feel. Oh, she about to go off. Go and cook. Scene 1. Before a mirror. Furina. Oh, hey. Oh, I get to do the slow walk.
Furina. Huh? Who's that? Who's calling me? Where are you? Be not
In the
nervous.
mirror.
Be not afraid. I am before you. Wait a moment. You're mirror me? How can this be? Mirror you, huh? You know what? That's not bad. Let's go with that. Mirror me. What do you wish to say?
You gotta do your job.
The prophecy. Have you
You
heard
gotta
of it?
play the part of a sad child on a throne.
What prophecy? Wait. I know. I think. I don't know why, but
It's
in
pre-download software. Don't worry about it.
the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away. Oh, very good. You know it well. What's going on? I can't seem to
She
remember
sounds...
anything clearly.
She
The
sounds
only
so
thing I know for sure
naive
is this
and pure
prophecy.
and innocent.
Will it really come to pass?
I think that's one of the sadder things, is that she's truly innocent in all this. Furina is, not Focalors, Furina. But the nature of her existence means that she's condemned. It's very Christian in a sense. Like, God sent his son, quote unquote son, to be human just to be sacrificed, be declared guilty. In fact, I'm guessing a bunch of theorists are already writing scripts in this whole vein. It's an analogy for Jesus, basically. Focalors is just water Jesus. Cool.
Yes.
Or Furina is water Jesus.
And that is why I've come to you. Disaster will come to Fontaine sooner or later. Things will develop just as the prophecy declared. There is no escaping it.
But doesn't that mean everyone will die? I'm a Fontainian just like them. Will I dissolve too?
Oh, don't worry. Magical meetings exist in this world precisely to give people a chance to turn things around. It is the reason why you met me today. I will tell you how to save everyone, but you may have to suffer somewhat.
Oh, so there's still hope after all. Goodness, you frightened me. You spoke so much and with so much certainty. As for the suffering, well, I will admit that the first thing that came to mind was, why do I have to be the one to suffer?
Sorry, it's the hand you were dealt.
But if the prophecy will come true, I'll also die anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I've already met you as my magical meeting in this world, if there were scales, with all the people of Fontaine on one side, and my pain on the other, is it not obvious where the scales should tilt?
Indeed. Very, utilitarian of you. Very selfless.
You truly are the perfect human. My ideal. I suppose this would also be the justice that belongs to you.
Indeed.
Huh? Don't worry. It's nothing. Listen well. Fontaine has just lost its Hydro Archon. I need you to play a role. That of the new Archon.
Play as a god?
That's right. You must begin a never-ending masquerade. You must never let anyone suspect your identity. If you can keep it up,
Uwonis,
then I
what's
shall
up?
have my way of
How are you doing?
defying this prophecy. But should your identity be revealed, then all hope will be lost.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
But how will I do this? A human assuming the role of a god without being exposed.
Doing better than Furina, that's for sure. Man, it's so brutal. Good old water Jesus here. So sad. My God, why hast thou forsaken me?
Don't worry. What you must do is not to turn yourself into a real god. You simply need to play the role
But
of
for
a
real,
god
I'm
as
doing
humans
pretty
imagine
good.
them to be.
Are you still finding interest in the story? Absolutely. Yeah. I love a good story. And this has all the twists and turns I could need. It's truly a perfect opera. Well, not perfect, but it's one of the better tales I've been wrapped up in.
Being a human yourself, I'm sure you already know what such an entity would be like.
Start a new job tomorrow, which is pretty
Remember,
exciting.
Your true challenge will not be pursuing divinity, but contending against humanity.
True challenge will not be pursuing divinity, but contending against humanity. Yeah.
I'm still not sure I understand, but I'll try. I'll try to do this. So, how long am I going to have to play this role?
500 years, give or take.
To accomplish this mission, you will have to stay on the stage for many, many years. You will endure and not grow old until your task ends, but I promise you, all will eventually end in a magnificent and dramatic trial, and everyone will be saved.
A trial, huh? How exciting.
I'll be looking forward
I'll
to
be
it.
looking forward to it.
500 years later. Scene 2. Thanks. I appreciate it. If I was actually in the game, I would do a couple polls for you. Can I? Oh no, I can't press L right now. I will after it's done, whether you're here or not. No. Okay, time to play the part of God weeping on her throne. I wish you could see the Traveler in the audience. Alright, sounds good. You're just in time for the climax, even though you might not know what's going on.
But this is my first time facing the people. What should I say to most appear like a god? To be honest, I still don't know. Perhaps I should first try to act natural.
If you've already detached yourself from Genshin, I don't want to be the person who ropes you in, makes you come crawling back. But it is very good. It is very good. Fontaine is a very, very good update. Summon courage.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to the Opera Epiclese. I'm sure you've all heard about how I have taken on the role of Hydro Archon. Indeed, I am Furina de Fontaine, your new Archon.
Appear earnest.
In truth, I know little about becoming a nation's new god, but it will be my honor to guide you all as the god Focalors, the god of justice. I shall do all within my power to lead you into an age of fairness and justice. Once again, politely. Thank you all for coming. If you should have any questions or suggestions, please send them to the Maison Cardinalise. The future of Fontaine will require us to work together, after all. This should do it. I thought I might stammer, but thankfully, I was able to convey my thoughts just fine.
You did great, actually. That was a great little spiel.
Next.
That's the new Hydro Archon.
Uh-oh.
Is this some kind of joke by the Maison? I would have thought that a being that surpasses humanity would be a bit more assertive.
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her suggestions there at the end.
Shouldn't gods be all-powerful? She's being so modest. What's the difference?
Be careful what you wish for, audience. You want her to be a freaking tyrant? Come on now.
If you ask me, perhaps the succession.
Oh, the dialogue is absolutely drawn
she
out.
might just be a Maison-backed puppet.
Maybe the succession actually didn't happen. Oh no, they called her out.
Wait, what's going on? Why is everyone suspecting me of being a fake? Oh, this is bad. If I get exposed here, there'll be no saving the people from the prophecy. Right. Mirmi said that I just need to play the role of a god as humans imagine them to be.
So that's why she puts on the very dramatic appearance to make people really not question anything.
Furina. Think.
What do they want?
What do the people want? How would they
want
imagine
grandeur
God to speak and act?
and power.
Assertive, with a strong sense of presence. One who can dispel all doubt. That is the character I'm fated to play.
Fine, I won't take any of your suggestions. I'm the biggest celebrity and you suck.
Oh, very good, my people. Only ones such as you are deserving of my rule. Now, I was wondering, if some weak puppet were to one day come onto the stage and claim ownership of this opera house, would the children of Fontaine follow them?
You missed your chance for a much better god than you ended up having.
Them. Having passed my test, you are qualified to witness wondrous trials alongside my august self. Here in this opera house, you may consider my previous act a door gift of sorts. I thought it was a debut that suited the atmosphere. Now then, let us be reintroduced.
That was the mulligan. Let me try again.
It was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were inside an opera house?
Personality. It's quite shocking, to be honest, but I
suppose it's a better look than before.
Such a fascinating and bold deity. How wonderful. Our future may yet be bright after all.
Y'all are dumb.
It seems I've turned them around. Best follow this flow and restart my accession speech.
Summon courage resolutely with conviction.
My dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, keep faith in your ardor for justice. We have heard it said that this nation's sins can no longer be washed away. Well, I say that justice is most fragrant when it blooms amid sin.
Appear earnest and turn up the drama.
No, this won't work. They'll suspect me again. I must play the role that they want me to play.
Sorry, just turn up the drama.
The scales of justice should not weigh heavy in the hands of its God. On one side, it must carry fairness and justice. And on the other, praise and applause. May law be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be our worship. Let us light the fires and drink to the future of Fontaine.
And then end the speech emphatically.
There is no trouble in this world that justice cannot solve.
There is no war in Bossing Say.
All that is needed is for you, my people, to believe in it, heart and soul. So long as I, the Archon Focalors, stand within the Opera Epiclese, so long as I stand before the Oratrice, I shall even judge the gods of this world!
Yeah, judge yourself. Your other self. Wow. That was great. I like that last guy. Yeah! Oh, yeah! Scene 3. Opera House. Furina. What's JJJ? Oh, that's scene 3. That's I. Oh, I can run now. Look at me go. I've got all my props there. Okay, let's go sit down and write something.
Lady Furina, here are today's case reports, as well as a summary of the follow-up for your perusal.
Come now. Was I not just at the Opera House in person? Leave these kinds of things to Neuvillette.
Everyone else can do my work.
Besides, none of these trials were the one that I'm looking forward to the most.
If I may be so impertinent, what kind of trial are you truly looking forward to?
The one that will finally be the end.
A magnificent, dramatic, and wondrous trial. A trial to end all things. How could you hope to understand?
That's true. I fear I lack the ability to grasp your divine thought, Lady Archon.
No need for fright. And do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now. Do your duties. The trial I await. It will come one day.
One day. It is fated. Oh, it's a little bit of tea time.
Lady Furina, I don't know what to say. Thank you for agreeing to see me.
No need to thank me. Or rather, thank your own sense of perseverance instead. Long
yeah,
have
what
you
are these
stood in line
meetings
to
about?
meet me, have you not? Oh, I'm afraid that's just an inevitable consequence of my divine charm. All right, Deoteria, is it? How is your son's illness?
You remembered me, and you knew of my family, too.
She's been around a long time, woman.
He is doing much better now. In fact, he is far more of an ardent believer than I. He was the one who forced me to seek an audience with you, and to bring your words back to him.
Oh, good. Very good. If this should happen again in the future, please do not hesitate to come and tell me. Going down to citizens' homes every so often, while not usual practice, should serve as a fine change of pace.
Okay.
You're such a gentle and wise God. Thank you once again.
What are these? Yeah, what are these meetings for? Just to keep up appearances of caring, or I guess not appearances of caring. She does care, but to like try and do something to keep people believing. But she didn't do anything. Interesting.
Lady Furina, here are the latest hydrological reports.
Trying to
As for the
search about
specific
the
parameters
prophecy.
you asked to take note of, I'm afraid things still don't look good.
I see. It's as I thought then. As your god, I did already expect this, but I wanted to see how far your human wisdom would allow you to analyze it. All manner of signs indicate that the prophecy will still come to pass. Forget it. That's not something you need to worry about right now.
Yeah, except that prophecy is, like, real bad for everyone.
Well, as I understand it, the Fontaine Research Institute is also trying to find a way to counter the rising water levels.
Really? Have they found anything?
I'm afraid that they haven't found any effective solution thus
Besides, build a really big boat.
Is that so? Well, no wonder. This issue has reached the realm of the gods, after all. Still, their spirit is praiseworthy.
Yikes. Alright, now, when she's all alone, ready to go to bed, can she finally let down her guard?
The day is finally over. I haven't had a moment to breathe this whole time, but it's good to see that everything's getting on track. There are no longer any voices of suspicion. Maybe this is fine. I just
Maybe this is fine.
Keep going, and everyone will be safe.
Just 1,000,000 days left.
All right, Furina, don't think too hard about this. You need rest. Tomorrow's a new day.
Scene 4. Opera House. Furina.
Lady Furina, here are the new trial reports for the latest cases, as well as a summary of the follow-up.
There'll be no need for that. I've seen them already. There's no need to go back over scenes I've witnessed in person.
Yeah, all the scenes she's
Lady
getting more and
Furina,
more
I've
like
waited
short with people.
so long for this chance to see you in this manner.
And she's like, get out of here. I don't have time.
Indeed, my dear loyal citizen. This joyous moment is an honor for us both.
Oh, just the same things.
Lady
Hydrological
Furina,
report is...
We're detecting significant hydrological anomalies near Poisson.
Understood. Keep monitoring. Keep me informed should anything come up at the Institute.
And then back to bed.
I don't think I let anything slip today. I must show the people that there is nothing to worry about. I just don't know when these days will end. I feel utterly exhausted. Best to rest early today, too.
And then another day. And the next day. And the next day. And the next day. And the next day. Scene 18,375.
It's like a dream being able to speak with you up close.
Hold
like
up.
this.
Let's do this math real quick. 18,000. Right, I think it's 182,375 divided by 365 is almost exactly 500 years. Oh, they did the math. They did the math. I was almost about to do that math myself just to see, like, I said 1,000,000 days, but I wasn't doing the math completely correct. So 365 times 500 is 182,500. And so it's like half a year away. 375 to 500, that's 125 days left.
I've heard that the first member of our family who was honored to receive an audience with you was Madame Dioteria, almost 20 generations ago.
And what a fine family yours is indeed. It brings me great joy to meet such a faithful
20
believer.
generations.
A descendant of a line most ardent.
Doesn't even show her face anymore.
Lady Furina. My lady?
What is it, good citizen?
She's like crying.
Are you crying?
Really now? I didn't even notice.
Oh, it breaks my heart.
This must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the god whose dominion is the waters, can I?
No wonder.
She's still just human.
A manifestation of your power, then. Oh, Archon, I am honored to have witnessed it. Honored indeed.
So interminable. So lonely. Just how much longer? Hundreds of years must have passed by now. Perhaps the show must go on for hundreds more.
It's why she wanted to dip her hand. She's like, I'm out, y'all.
Never imagined
Dissolve my ass.
that it would hurt so much. Have I reached my limit? No. Perhaps I reached it long ago. Today I didn't even notice my own tears.
Ugh. And for us to go and create this trap to make her panic and basically like incite a psychotic break, it's just so sad. It's like it's cruel. It's cruel.
I want to tell someone, anyone, about this. But would that not destroy
No.
all I've done so
The
far?
Traveler's not from this world. He's a descender.
So many investigations across the centuries. But there's not even a sliver of hope that we might break the prophecy. All I can do is keep heart. I must maintain this act. It is the only way.
I mean,
to
after
save
500
Fontaine.
years, like,
Please.
you're not gonna
hear
waste
me.
all that.
You have to succeed.
Every day raises the stakes another day. That's literally the next day. 182378. And oh, who did she meet?
Furina, you don't have to shoulder this burden alone. Although I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone. Your people are more than willing to share your burden with you.
That's my voice? Is this scene from when we were within the giant magic box? Didn't think this scene would actually replay in her inner world. Surely I'll find out what you wanted to tell me this time.
Share my burden. That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be my duty alone.
But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, you can still choose to confide in someone. Just share it with me. I'm what you'd call a witness.
A witness?
Yeah, from beyond the stars.
Yes.
Yep. She's
I've
like,
heard that you
maybe I
came
can
to
tell
that
you.
From beyond the stars, yes. In other words, you never belonged here. And if Tevat is, in its entirety, a show on a stage, then you're just a spectator, aren't you? If that's the case... He's right. I could confide in him, couldn't I?
Not Paimon, though. Not Paimon. Paimon is from this world.
But if things don't play out as expected, the people of Fontaine will be the ones to pay the price. No, Furina. You shouldn't be selfish. But what if it's really alright? Furina, you've worked so hard for so long. Surely it would be okay to put yourself first for once.
Just this once.
Just this once.
Just this once, and we go and just slash her heart open.
Is it such an outrageous thing to do anyway? To find someone in whom you can confide your frustrations and sorrows?
And we just
Surely
ripped open 500 years of progress in one afternoon. She's like, I could just tell him. I could finally do it. And we're like, psych, we're gonna make you tell everyone else.
if you let this opportunity slip through your fingers, it might never come by again. Think about it. Long and hard. No, I have nothing to say. I am Furina, the Archon of Fontaine. Everything will surely get better. All you need to do, dear spectator, is to witness my performance until the curtains fall.
Oh, so she was never gonna tell him?
Fine.
And things still ended up this way.
So
Dang,
even
after
Furina
all
doesn't know
that?
the truth? You've never once let her in on the full plan?
Yes, it had to be done. To deceive the heavenly principles, you must first deceive yourself.
Everyone in the entire history of the world has to be fooled.
She did very well. If she had let her resolve falter even once in these 5 centuries, Fontaine would have been doomed to the most tragic fate. It seems that trusting humanity was the right decision after all.
I believe that I understand how your deception works, but that is only half the truth.
Yeah, there's still some pieces missing.
How would you build on this foundation to save the people of Fontaine?
Exactly.
That is the most important thing.
Ah, good, good. Of course, the Iudex of Fontaine has pinpointed the crux of the issue. I'm sure you've long sensed that the Oratrice is no simple machine.
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Lenny did mention that he heard a human voice within the core chamber. It now seems that that person was you, hidden within the machine all along. Am I right?
And then I became one with the Oratrice, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me.
Yeah?
Yes, it would seem so, wouldn't it?
It would seem so.
Alas, your understanding of this device still lacks sufficient depth. In truth, it is no enactor of justice. It is, in fact, a device created to kill the god of justice.
Okay. The longest suicide attempt ever.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, you have it. And to be more precise, not only will the Oratrice take down the god of justice, it will also take down the divine throne upon which she has been placed.
Okay.
I mean, did you think I would be the sort to enjoy peaceful repose while Furina suffered? My work over these last 500 years has been to constantly accumulate indemnitium within the Oratrice.
And that's the power that's going to be used to smite a god.
But really, some have already discovered that only a small fraction of the energy generated by the device was ever used to provide power to Fontaine. The vast majority has been, had to be, accumulated to enact this death sentence.
Because part of the prophecy was a trial. So the Oratrice was made to make a death sentence as a result of it?
It was all a part of your plan then. both the trial and the sentence.
Indeed. This power, accrued over 5 centuries, could have sustained Fontainians for millennia, had it only been used for that purpose. Almost all of it has now been stored within the oratory, but only power of this magnitude could hope to destroy the Hydro Archon's divine throne, shaking the rules established by Celestia and breaking through the institution that is the
She's
Seven.
like, I'm gonna knock out the feet of this myself and take me down with it.
So the Oratrice's call for death was for neither Furina nor Focalor, but for the Hydro Archon.
Which is still Focalor?
The destruction of that divine throne. If I do not misunderstand your intent, you must
There'd be no other Hydro Archon.
Returning what's rightfully yours to you, of course.
Damn!
In other words, this was all done to return the authority of the Hydro Archon to the Hydro Dragon of this planet.
What a rebellion.
But...
Oh, what? Getting sad again, are we? The authority of the ancient dragons shall soon be yours once more, O Hydro Dragon Sovereign. And this is the face you make.
Sounds like being with humans has made him more human.
All you've done throughout the years is just so you can sacrifice yourself at the very end.
I've never quite seen it that way, you know. Even now, I'm quite pleased at how well my deception worked. Hydro Dragon, don't cry. I must say, had it been within my rights, I would have loved to judge the heavenly principles themselves. Were they not guilty of essentially the same crime?
Yeah, that's very true.
Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea, and the heavenly principles stole the power you ancient dragons possessed.
Correct. What makes them more innocent? The one who writes the rules writes history.
I, for my part, am the god of justice. And is it not just that your original powers should be returned to you?
Damn, you're not wrong.
Speaking
you're
of
not
justice,
wrong.
I have always believed that justice lies in the process of pursuing human existence itself. So, if the theft of the primordial sea's might was Fontaine's original sin...
So, she'd return it.
Then, leaving matters of procedural right and wrong aside, the descent of the Fontainians as humans and their right to exist in this world would be Fontaine's original justice.
The matters of procedural right and wrong. The descent of the Fontainians as humans and the right to exist in the world would be Fontaine's original justice. Interesting, yeah.
In other words, existence was Egeria's justice. And to me,
yeah.
Justice is the continuation of that existence.
Fair enough. I follow you.
Defying the prophecy and ensuring that Fontaine's people shall live on. That should be the justice enthroned over all others. At this point, we, whether it be myself or all other Fontainians, have shouldered the burden of this sin for far too long. Iudex Nervillet, the highest judge in our land, when you regain your full power as an elemental sovereign, what verdict shall you pass upon us?
So when I was invited to the court of Fontaine to serve as Iudex, I see now that was your idea.
He's going to be the true judge. The epic or the whatever cardinal thing becomes no longer useful. He will have sole authority to judge the entire world.
At last.
Or not the entire world, the
I
entire
now
country.
understand the true purpose behind this position.
He will have the opportunity to rewrite the prophecy.
In the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. But these 5 centuries of living
And he's
alongside
been groomed to
gradually
judge
brought
them as
about
not
mutual
guilty.
understanding between us. And I have even attempted to feel as they feel. You are a devious one, Focalors. Things being as they are, surely you know that I could never declare them to be guilty.
Yep.
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but faced with death, I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, Nervalette. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
One last dance. Do, 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 do. Damn. And is there going to be no real Archon in Fontaine anymore? From this moment on, please live happily as a human, just as I wish we could. He's got his juice back. Judge Celestia.
Ex Nervalette, hereby declare,
Celestia
people
guilty.
of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
Yeah, let's go. That means the prophecy is null and void, right? The ruling has been overturned.
What just happened? Has the death sentence been carried out?
Was that bright light some sort of misdirection? I have
Everyone
a
else is
feeling that
completely
something
clueless.
huge just happened.
Wait, if Nouvelet was above the opera house and now he's back down, what happened?
But since we're all still alive and haven't been dissolved, I assume whatever happened was good for us.
It's time to end this. We must mete out punishment to that beast.
Like, oh shoot, okay, we're ready to go. Yeah.
Just a moment ago that it can't be defeated?
Just a moment ago, he was a completely different person.
I have gained the strength sufficient to deal with it. Through certain means, I now have the ability to separate the power of the primordial sea from that creature. We should seize the opportunity to pursue our quarry.
You obtain power just now?
Traveler, now that the oratories can no longer function, I require an executor to help me mete out justice.
I shall
the
do
root
it.
of the calamities befalling Fontaine, the beast that enacts the prophecy. Its name is the all-devouring Narwhal. Come with me, traveler.
Okay.
The hour of execution has come.
Let's go. I'm excited. Let's do this. These mechanics are going to be very new, and I'm very excited to bumble my way through it, but we'll get it done. Big boy.
We're going to execute it? But how are we going to do that? It's huge!
Where is it? Oh, hi.
I've already done my best to separate the power of the primordial sea from the whale. Considering the size of the beast, I cannot reach the power source. Unless we can find a way to attack it from within. I shall share a part of the ancient dragon's power with you.
Oh,
we shall look for an opening together.
Fun's over.
How do I hit it?
I can feel its sorrow turning into hostility.
Make yourselves a room.
Where did you go? Man, this thing is so freaking slow. Destroy the eye of the mouse. Oh, okay.
The all-devouring narwhal cannot resist its instinct to devour. Continue to trigger its hostility. A chance will present itself.
Okay, doing some damage. Here it is. Eat me. Let's go. Yo, this music.
Get with me.
Commit it to memory.
Why can't I switch?
Rain outlines your fate.
I have granted you my protection. Do not fear. Seize
Oh,
the
let's
moment
go.
And use my power to suppress its root from within.
Alright, gotcha. Here comes the catch.
Go. Oh, now I have to go back out. We didn't do it, did we? There's still one more phase. There's gotta be. Yo, what is that? It definitely has abyssal power. Oh, there she is! Interesting. The abyss gnosis. Meow. Into the abyss. Thank you.
Thanks for helping with the cleanup. Should have been my job.
The voice is so good.
Oh well. It was just supposed to be a short private training session for me. I didn't think that my disciple and my master's pet would start brawling in the meantime.
My disciple and my master's pet. Oh, the master's pet is... So who's your master? The whale is their pet?
Well, actually, I had a feeling that it would happen at some point, but they bumped into one another earlier than I thought. What a blunder. I suppose I'll have to swing my sword 3 million times as penance.
She is a cute.
That power. Who are you exactly?
Hyman has an idea. From what she said earlier, she must be Child's master. Skirk, right? It's just that he gave us the impression that she was the less talkative person.
I simply did not have anything to say to the weak. But you, on the other hand, managed to defeat the all-devouring narwhal without using power from beyond this world.
Please let her be playable. Oh, what even power is she gonna have?
So you may speak to me as equals.
Oh. Okay. What sort of person would take an all-devouring narwhal as a pet?
I have to agree. It's a strange use of a planet's primordial waters just to raise an all-devouring narwhal. That kind of power is wasted on it. It's not cooperative. It eats too much. And I have more important things to do with my time than pet sitting. The only thing that creature has going for it is its looks. All in all, it fails as a pet.
True.
Miss Skirk, I think you might have missed the point.
The point being?
Like, who are you?
Well,
start with that.
Pet almost destroyed an entire nation. So what sort of person is your master? Well, child's master's master. Wait, is that right?
Oh, right. So you don't know him. Sorry, I assumed you did.
No, we don't.
His name is Sertologi.
Sertologi. Oh boy, who?
I am unfamiliar with that name.
Huh. So Master is insufficiently famous. How should I describe him then? Have
Things
you
are
heard
getting
of the name
real wild here.
The
I feel like we're finally digging into like the real foundations of the story.
Still nothing? Well, how about the Visionary? Vetterfilnir then?
Vetterfilnir?
Gold Rhine-daughter?
Oh, Rhine-daughter? I think we know.
That one we've heard. Rhine-daughter's part of the Hexen Circle. She's Albedo's mom, right?
Oh, so you do know that name. To be honest, I also heard all of those names and titles from my master. I don't actually know them either.
So, their master's... Child's master's master is a Rhine-daughter?
But I suppose you understand now, yes? My master is likely a similar sort to Rhine.
Oh, a similar sort.
They are both pursuing some form of perfection.
Wait, didn't you also mention a visionary person? Paimon didn't quite catch their name.
Actually, never mind that. I believe
Never
it
mind.
expedient to
No,
inform
don't
you
never mind anything.
that the all-devouring narwhal used up nearly all its strength fighting you.
Yeah, it should die.
Such
Why
roiling
not?
hydro energies will prove difficult for the planet's deep seas to digest. As
Okay.
such, the fontaine back on the surface has most likely been thrown into chaos. In other words, the prophecy that you've been fretting over should now be in full swing.
Oh, great. There's little to be surprised about, Paimon. Prophecies will surely come true. We knew this and accepted it. However...
Not to worry. Focalors has already managed to deceive the heavenly principles.
Interesting.
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only Furina will remain, weeping on her throne.
Yo.
Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
But how is the Heavenly Principles deceived? It wasn't actually primordial water, so it was just regular water? People are on the boat, I bet. Yeah. They're all just in the regular water.
Hey! Help! Over here!
Are they seriously going to get the entire nation on boats? How did more people not drown? There it is. There's the big boat. Yeah, Risley, my boy.
Emergency rescue.
Hurry!
Hey, lend a hand!
Oh, Fremine! Gonna save people. How are those people not, like, dead or drowned?
Look! The water's receding!
It's a Everything's dissolved. The prophecy was wrong. The prophecy was wrong.
No, it wasn't wrong. All happened according to plan, ish.
Are you right?
We're saved. The prophecy was wrong.
A new day has started. Whew, damn.
The soil renewed. The Furina di Rasula talks post-disaster rebuilding. I recently visited Poisson to meet with Miss Navia.
Oh, this is from Charlotte, I'm sure.
The Furina di Rasula. Old soil can still give birth to new bloom, Miss Navia stated. Hope is like seeing a small cookie when you're starving late at night. You just need a
You
little
just
of
need
it.
a little of it. I don't know, eat that whole ass cookie. Come on.
Starship Winglet, Booner Bane of the Fontaine Research Institute.
Booner Bane?
The
Excuse me?
various disputes that have arisen on account of Mr. Edwin have suddenly become a shield over the Institute, with Jurier turning out to be a once-overlooked hidden gem. People always call the first researcher mad, but few know what to call the second. And should that latter person achieve a miracle, they would find it all the harder to find a word with which to classify him and his team.
It's true.
Wow! Paimon barely recognizes the people in the reports. Are those really Jurier and
They are
Nadia?
big shots, are you kidding me?
Real big shots.
They might have been real big shots from the start.
What do you think? Pretty enthralling, huh?
Oh, there's a lot to write about, I'm sure.
Pretty simple. With the disaster just having passed, we would print a free edition packed to the margins with good news to calm people down.
That's actually a really good marketing
The
ploy.
value for these big scoops lies in their inevitable follow-ups.
Exactly.
We'll publish further reports and go into the stories behind those people. Edwin's assistant, Jurier, created a true flying ship, while Navia is leading people in the reconstruction of their home. I'm sure that these stories could draw even your well-traveled eye.
Paimon's curious too! Wait a minute. Didn't we watch everything happen from start to finish?
We already have all the
Curious
answers.
about?
And that's exactly why I'd like you to come conduct interviews with me. You're the best incubators of news, if you haven't noticed. And also, with you around, I'm sure I'll get to see that dupe.
Are you sure? Hasn't he turned you down several times already?
Oh, this time will be different. Come on, let's head to Poisson first, and then make a
Oh,
trip
we
to
get
the
to make our
fortress.
rounds around
Things you'll
once
only know
more.
when you get there.
Wow. Oh, another viewpoint. Dang, that was a marathon. Since we're here, we got Uwunis. We finally get the poll for their drop in the chat. Let's see what we get. Nope. Okay. So where am I going? Poisson first, I guess. Still as drippy as ever. We gotta have our ending time where we get to ask an important person some big questions. There's Navia. Talking with the Fatui member, okay.
Navia!
Oh, it's you. What brings you all here?
Hey, we're just having a look around.
I'm here to update myself on how things are going here. Oh, the Fatui are here too.
Let me introduce you. This is Mr. Garunt Snezhevich. He
Snezhevich,
represented
okay.
the Knave in sending us a large amount of supplies. Our residents are hard at work as well. Thanks to everyone, work is progressing nicely. We've lost a lot of people, but we're moving forward.
Hello, Miss Charlotte. I'm a big fan of yours.
Oh, really?
I especially like that article you wrote last year about Fontaine's stray cats. But if you don't mind, could you not emphasize our role too much in your report? It's not charity we're doing here. We just happen to share the same interests as the Spina.
we're bad guys, I promise. We're not actually super empathetic like we're presenting ourselves to be.
I get where you're coming from. I'll keep it as simple as possible. Or would you be willing to feature as friendly neighbors?
No, not friendly
that would
neighbors.
Be fine.
Oh, you're back too. How are things?
We finished laying down the construction materials. It'll be another hour before the workers are able to go over there.
Huh? You're here too, Clorand?
Well, her reputation's greatly risen after that whole duel business with Miss Furina. So
I
she's
bet.
here in Poisson to wait out the heat. All right. She really came here to help me out.
There's too much to consider in the reconstruction of Poisson. The Spina has need of more decision makers. And, well, I do already happen to be connected to Mr. Callis.
Oh, wait just a moment. Do you mind me asking a few questions? You know, about how you felt before the duel, about what it was like facing down a god.
Not an actual
Lots
god.
of exciting material there, I bet.
Forget it.
She already
I'm sure
knew
we
the
can find a
truth
better
at that
theme
point.
than that, Miss Charlotte.
I see you're the same as always. Couldn't you do me a favor, for Navia's sake?
How's this for Navia's
Well,
sake?
if we're talking about doing things for my sake, you might as well just take a few more photos of me. Or of the Traveler. It's better than wasting time persuading Clorand at any rate.
Of course I will. I'm not gonna let him off that easy. All right, then everyone who wants to be in the photo, gather up. And smile.
Cute.
How did it go? Was it a good shot? Did Paimon look cuted?
Not bad. Your addition really helped the composition of the picture. All right, hang on a moment. Let me snap
No,
a
it
few more
helped.
shots.
Why are you looking mad?
All right, that should do it. I'll be back here later anyway, so let's call it a day.
So are we going to the fortress?
You're very quick.
Speed is of the essence when it comes to the news, and freshness is the key. Also, not to brag, but I'm pretty good at building connections. Who knows? I might eventually get that interview with you after all, Miss Clorand.
Wow, you really do have that never say die spirit.
You got to.
I'm
You
impressed.
gotta hustle.
I'll hazard a guess that this is how you got that interview at the Fortress of Maripede.
You already knew she was
Well,
going.
You're well informed.
Because they're besties. Clorand
make a
and
guess,
Riley
too.
are besties.
I asked Sijuin, who told Monsieur Nervilette, and he told you, right?
That's a very complete information chain.
In truth, all Monsieur Neuvillette asked me was, when did the fortress become so friendly towards the media? I told him that it was best not to speak too soon. There's no guarantee that Ridley will make a personal appearance.
Indeed.
You're right. I've got to treasure every moment I have with them. In which case, I'll be making a move first.
Stay safe now. And tell me if you hear anything interesting.
Alright, to the fortress. So this is the finale. Yeah. I heard this played out like it was the end of the Fontaine Archon quest. Which is kind of crazy. There's only 4 acts. After all that. Do I have to go down? I don't want to jump down if I don't have to. Let me see. Quest area reached, okay. Oh, do I have to talk to the front desk guy? Yeah, okay.
Wow.
Thank
Good
you.
done, huh? There's a real nostalgic feeling to this place.
Looks like you've been
Nostalgic,
missing us.
okay. Hey, Risley, wow, really did show up.
Did you come all the way to the entrance to greet us?
Of course. I'm here to welcome you and our dear Miss Charlotte, whom our good head nurse recommended to me.
It's an honor to finally meet
Sijuin
the much
pulling her
wayward
weight.
Duke. Thank you for consenting to my visit to the fortress, sir.
No need to thank me. But that said, I shouldn't be the focus of your interview. I trust you recall our agreement?
Of course, of course.
All right,
What's
then.
the agreement?
This way.
I hope we can see the boat. Take pictures of everyone else.
Hey, no need to be so nervous. I've already taken all the photos we need.
Miss Charlotte, do these pictures really need to be published on the cover of the Steenberg?
It would seem that Miss Lorvine doesn't want her face to appear beside that of Mr. Jurier,
Sir,
no, we'll
please
do
don't
it separately.
Say things like that.
But it looks like dear Mr. Jurier denies it. Might this interview be very important to you then?
No, I just... This is my first time being interviewed, and I'm very thankful to the Steambird for...
Now, I might not look it, but I actually did meet Mr. Edwin once. And I'll be honest, I enjoyed chatting with you more. You've definitely got more of that genius vibe going on. The boat that brought about a miracle. The ark that saved the people. Why, you recreated a myth back there. Like
Truly,
an emissary
yeah.
of legend.
Noah's Ark.
Still, if I might ask, where's that flying ship now?
Huh. Looks like Charlotte's trying to get herself another exclusive scoop.
Trying to butter him up and then ask for information.
I have to apologize, but that ship is presently in the bowels of our factory. I'm afraid it won't be easy for you to get a shot of it.
You're either going to have to say impossible or possible.
Really? Well, then in that case, could I have an interview with you to make up for that long?
Sure, there's not a squeeze opportunity.
You already know my answer, I'm afraid. Best you interview our head nurse instead. Or perhaps you'd like to take another photo of this couple of researchers?
This researcher couple?
Have to use the word couple?
Yes,
well,
we did.
2 solo photos will do.
Is my hair messed up? Please, someone help me have a look.
Things sure are getting pretty lively here. We've seen this kind of thing before.
We lived here for like 40 days.
Oh, seems like everyone's here. Would any of you like to try this new drink I came up with?
No.
Siege
Absolutely
Weed.
not.
Hey, Miss Charlotte. Why don't you, take some pretty photos of our head nurse? Sure. Come on, Miss Siegeween. Over this way. Let's find a brighter spot.
Huh? Sure. Do I have to smile?
Of course.
So, how have things been at the foot trip?
Same old, as you can see.
No, look at
Fontaine's
them in the
undergone
background,
some
doing
changes,
little
but
poses.
this place is still more or less the same.
Other than that flying ship, it got a tad too much attention, I think.
That's why I decided to let the interview go through. We should direct more public opinions toward the behind-the-scenes heroes. Am I right, Mr. Jurier? Ms.
Yeah,
Levine?
wouldn't you like some spotlight?
You're too kind, sir. I believe that you too should have your day in the sun. Not that you would want that, which is a pity.
I'll just leave the spotlight to you two. I see. Lots of things happened that day, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway, regarding that Harbinger, I'm not sure you remember, but his 3 young followers are still waiting for his return.
Oh, he's not back yet.
Sure did win them over, huh?
I'll tell them that there's good news and bad news. The good being that their boss seems fine, and the bad being that they must face extended sentences for abetting his escape.
Brutal.
Oh, actually, what about you? Are things gonna change for you too?
What change can there be?
No,
The
the
fortress
fortress is
will
going to
keep
be the same
chugging
as
along,
always.
and so will my duties. As to what Miss Furina's departure will mean for the nation, and if our laws and governance will be transformed, we'll leave those to the folks in the overworld.
Hey, everyone. The photo shoot's done.
Yeah, we got to go check in on Furina.
Good. In that case, let's call it a day here.
Thanks for your cooperation. Come on, Traveler, let's go. Till next time, everyone.
There'll be a...
Maybe.
There'll be a next time?
I might write a story about the underwater factory next time. Until then.
Yeah, look forward to it.
All right. Last stop, the docks.
Oh, the docks. Are we gonna see someone off, or are we seeing ourselves off? Oh, I need to go the other way. So you said that the departure of Furina, is she leaving the nation itself? She's like, I'm done with this place. Oh, they're seeing the trio off. They're going back to Shinejinaya?
They really are here! How did you know?
Navia mentioned that she stayed in touch with Linny and the others after working together. Apparently, they've been at the docks distributing these strange pockets the whole time.
Oh, they're actually working.
Traveler, Paimon.
The magic pockets from the very beginning.
Would you like a magic pocket?
What sort of gadget is it?
It's a wondrous bag that can be used to carry many things. The water level has returned to normal, But if you see any of your things floating around, you can use this to carry them. Or you could trick a
Cute.
friend into doing it for you.
Trick a friend? I wonder which of my friends would fall for that.
Not us.
You could just make a friend like Fremine here. Isn't that right, Fremine?
Oh, poor Fremne. It's like, I'll do whatever you want.
Is this what you meant by, I'll help you make some more friends?
To be honest, that sounds pretty sweet. Could I have your contact, please?
Sure.
Oh.
Please.
The shippers
write
are
down my
gearing up.
address.
Fremine x Charlotte.
You sure are working hard to help Fremine socialize.
He was the one who proposed doing this. He even wants to assist in our magic
Oh,
shows.
cute.
Yes, I was planning to first introduce Pear as an assistant, and later Fremine himself. In the future, I think we can leave underwater escape magic to him too.
That said, would anyone want to see a diver escape underwater?
No, it seems a little too easy.
Oh, it'll work out. Every journey begins with the first step. He'll become a part of our show eventually.
Lynette, could you come over? Miss Charlotte says she wants to take a picture of us.
Got it.
My, that Charlotte is rather perceptive. She got rid of everyone the moment she realized I had something to say to you. So,
You do, huh?
How have things been, Traveler?
Yeah, doing
Father
alright.
says that you did a great deal during the latest events. She's very grateful for your contributions to Fontaine.
I mean, sure, would have done it anyway.
That's all right. We were more than happy to help. So,
Yeah, what is she doing now?
Oh, I guess you haven't heard. Well,
She's come back to
after
Shisnaya.
Lady Furina left, Father and Monsieur Nervillet opened negotiations during which
okay.
he gave Fontaine's gnosis to her as a diplomatic gift.
He did what? Excuse me, he did what? As a diplomatic gift? Bro. We need to have a word with Nouvelette.
a diplomatic gift? A gnosis?
Yes, I was quite surprised at first myself. But when I thought it over, there were actually
I was just
number
gonna
of things
say,
going for it.
if it didn't address it by the end of this, like, okay, Nouvelette got the Gnosis, got the Hydro Authority. Like, he's not gonna just give it away, is he? Turns out he just freaking gave it away.
It could have been done as an apology for the incident with Lord Child, or as thanks for his help in tying the all-devouring narwhal down.
No, come on.
Furthermore, Father did also lend significant aid to Fontaine and Poisson.
Then give him something else. Give him more. Don't give him the flippin' Gnosis.
That's true, but this is a gnosis we're
Yeah.
talking about.
Thank you, Paimon.
Seem a bit
Irresponsible?
I would agree, but I've also heard that it seems that Monsieur Nervillet has had a significant
Well, we need to change his heart
regarding
back.
the matter.
They're freaking collecting things like candy, and they're gonna, I don't know, do something crazy.
So there's some reason for this that only Nervilette knows about?
I suspect you'll have to ask him about that
Yeah,
yourself.
we are going to right now.
Yes, speaking of which, I did see him strolling around the entrance to the fortress of Meripede a while back.
Isn't he real busy and stuff? Paimon didn't think he'd have the time for that, but back to the topic. The gnosis was given to the knave, right? What about Child?
He's
They
still
say
missing?
that he's returned to Snezhnaya
Oh,
to recover
he's back
from
in
his
Snezhnaya.
wounds.
Easy.
I hear that the recent disaster really did a number on his health.
Guess I can call him one of my war buddies.
That's true. When you think about it, we've had loads of run-ins with the Fatui. To think we'd be allied with them this time.
So shocked by such a simple switching of sides?
Father.
Maybe. I don't know. It depends. What do you guys
know?
want with all these
Come
gnosis?
to the
Huh?
docks to see how my children are doing and meet the traveler by chance. Please do not pay my accomplishments in Fontaine too much mind. I would have done them regardless.
Your accomplishment in Fontaine is getting your hands on that gnosis. That's your accomplishment.
Take the gnosis back to Snezhnaya?
Absolutely, she is.
That is our duty as harbingers, yes. Don't be too preoccupied with sides. The goal of the Fatui concerns not a single place or
Right,
person, but the entire world. With such a grand goal in mind, it is inevitable that we must wear many masks. Switching my masks is something I've always done.
Will you keep your position? Of course you will.
Well, that depends on many things. No one truly knows what the future holds. What good is honesty if you can't rely on it forever? As for you, I very much look forward to our next collaboration.
No,
Good
goodness.
things cannot be achieved alone, and you've proved yourselves to be great partners.
Yeah, we'll see you in Shneznaya, I guess. We're gonna give back the vision.
A vision? All right. I'll remember to return it. Thank you for keeping it safe for him this entire time.
And that's a wrap for me. Huh? You're...
Greetings, Miss Journalist.
Hello.
She's like
If I'm
flustered
not
for the
mistaken,
only
there are
time ever.
diplomatic channels I'll need to report to take a photo of you.
That is correct. So forgive me, but I will not be able to serve as a subject in your article. However, feel free to write as much as you'd like about our dear magicians and our upcoming rookie talent.
Is you talking about me?
I will.
The sea breeze is quite pleasant. I shall continue my walk while the weather remains so agreeable. Farewell.
Farewell, Father.
Oh, she has such an intimidating presence. I didn't even dare to take a picture. Thankfully, I've already wrapped up all my pre-scheduled interviews. Thank you all. This'll be more than enough for me to write about, I'm sure.
Don't be too nervous. Why don't you take a magic pocket before you go?
Ooh, do we
Here,
actually
traveler,
get one, like,
Paimon,
in our inventory?
You take one too.
To move things about?
That's right. Funny. I was giving out magic pockets
Everything
when we first met
comes
too.
back around.
And what do you know? I'm doing the exact same thing right now. So many things have happened, but the pockets are still the pocket. I guess this must be life. We will all follow our own paths, and serendipity will lead you to your fated friends. All right then.
Indeed.
We'll be handing out pockets in some other districts later, so we'll get going now. Have a...
Well, guess we sent Charlotte off.
Now let's go see how Neuvlette's doing. Yep. We need to grill him on his poor decision making. Where do I even warp to? I could try warping here, but I have a feeling it won't. Yeah, I'll bring me way out. Gotta go 200 meters. I'll follow the light. Oh. I can actually go around it this way, huh? Interesting.
The entrance to the fortress! Ooh, he really is there!
Alright, this must be question asking time, huh?
So, you really are here, Neuvlet. Paimon didn't think you were going to have free time this hour of the day.
Really? Oh, I suppose you must have met Mr. Linney. He took the time to greet me earlier when he passed this way. In any case, you came at a good time. I was just considering reaching out to you to set up a meeting. So
Yeah,
I may
about how you
explain some
gave away
things
the
that I haven't
gnosis?
had the
Thanks for
time
that,
to
by the
before.
way.
Aw, Paimon's glad that you remembered. Thank you for keeping us on your mind. Well, alright, let's have it then. How was Fontaine actually saved? The whole business is still quite the mystery to us.
I could use a refresher. I have my ideas, but they might not be complete.
It is strange how words can often leave a bitter taste in the mouth when it finally comes time to say them out loud.
Oh, this is just... He's just gonna relay what he saw. Focalors received the heavenly principles and used Furina's endless performance to save Fontaine. Yeah, okay.
Whoa. So that's what happened?
I only saw Furina's part myself.
Focalors destroyed the divine throne of the Hydro Archon and restored your power to you, transforming you into a fully fledged elemental dragon sovereign. But Paimon still doesn't quite get what you did to save the Fontainians from dissolving.
That's a good question, Paimon. I'm also not
For
sure.
me, the authority of the ancient dragons refers to absolute control over the hydro element. Fontainians were incomplete humans born of Egeria's use of the power of the primordial sea, with constitutions similar to that of mimics. But so long as those primordial energies remain within them, I could use the ancient dragon's authority to grant them true blood, after the fashion in which life was first brought into being on this planet.
I see. So dragon sovereigns have even more control over those elements. Probably because they're separate from the bureaucracy of Celestia.
In other words, when I gave my verdict, Fontainians became true humans, and thus would naturally no longer be dissolved by water from the primordial sea.
Focalor must have counted on you to make that decision as well. Your verdict was the key to making the prophecy appear to have come true while saving everyone.
Right, you could say that in that moment, the Fontainians were finally truly born.
Yeah.
Yep.
And in a manner of speaking, Focalor finally managed to fulfill the original Hydro Archon's wish to turn Oceanids into real people too.
It seems from your expressions that you still have more things you wish to ask.
Yeah, please.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Well, we'll do each one in turn. About the initial verdict that was passed on Child. He was declared guilty because he had primordial blood?
I have investigated his case along many avenues, and I have learned that he once fell into an unknown chasm when he was young.
Oh,
there,
he awakened
by chance, he awakened the all-devouring narwhal.
So he was guilty of starting the prophecy?
But whether it be by sentiment or reason, that should not have been enough to consider him the root cause of the disaster. At most, he would have had tangential liability.
Right.
As for the judgment passed by the Oratrice during the trial, whether it was due to that liability by association or Focalors deliberately using him to buy time for us on the assumption that he would be able to hold the creature off, I cannot say.
Guess Focalors had Fontainians in mind the whole time. In the end, it was thanks to her that they finally became real human. Hang on a second. Paimon suddenly got another question. Back when Fontainians hadn't yet become real humans, were the children they had also transformed?
Thank you, Paimon. Where did Fontainian babies come from?
Life has always flowed like water. Do you recall how Fontainians would often come to the Fountain of Lucine to pray for children?
Sure.
Lynette said the fountain is where all the waters in Fontaine converge.
In truth, even those couples did not know that such prayers were no mere custom, but instead a
Wow,
formal
so you
ritual.
had to pray at the fountain in order to bear children.
Those Oceanids who were blessed within the spring water would later descend as new humans in the coming months.
Whoa.
Paimon sorta gets it now. Either way, seems like
Okay.
this ritual won't be of any further use, but it'll probably live on as a local custom.
That seems like such an afterthought after they wrote this whole entire thing. They're like, oh, wait, how did they represent? Oh, no, they just prayed at the fountain and then they got babies. Yeah, okay, I'll be fine. That'll be fine.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
About Fontaine's future.
About that. Risley said Furina has already left. What's that all about?
She's living her life as a human.
Lady Furina. The people are only aware that her death sentence has not been carried out.
Mm-hmm.
She abdicated the post of Hydro Archon and left affairs related to that title to me before leaving the Opera House.
I would want to just be anywhere but there.
I related Focalors' words to her faithfully and completely. After hearing them, she seemed neither saddened nor comforted. She simply said that she was tired and needed to rest. Having said that, she then packed her things and moved out of the Opera House, not unlike how an ordinary person might.
But she's still got a place to stay, right?
You need not worry. I will make arrangements to ensure that she will not want for food, clothing, board, or travel.
She gets true retirement with all of the perks associated for the rest of her life.
In truth, I am somewhat happy for her. The wear and tear on her spirit will, of course, take time to heal. But now that she no longer has to play the role of Focalors the Hydro Archon, she can finally lay down her
Can she
burdens
really live a
and
normal
lead
life? She'll have to be anywhere but here. She'll have to be real far away.
Then, what are your plans
I bet we'll see her at in an event.
Hydro Dragon?
After Focalors passed on, the Oratrice also ceased to function.
But justice is still
This
needed.
matter will directly affect our trials. After much careful consideration, I've decided to take over its role in our courts.
Yep.
From now on, I shall hear cases and pass verdicts by myself.
Looks like you're still considering stuff from the perspective of the Udex, huh?
As an
He has to.
elemental
That's his
dragon,
role.
there are indeed many things that I must do. But this power and this duty, in a manner of speaking, you could say that both were granted to me. As such, before I attend to my other responsibilities, I must first and foremost continue to serve Fontaine as its highest judge. The duty of the Hydro Sovereign and the duty of the Udex shall coexist within my person. Additionally, the Hydro Archon's departure has brought about another problem, which is that the Opera House shall no longer produce indemnity.
Oh, that is a problem.
That's true. That power was derived from the people's faith in the Hydro Archon, wasn't it? Wait, but the various mechs and machines in the city are all still okay. Where are they getting their energy from?
I'm sure they have
As
machines,
I am now,
right?
I have full command over New Musia.
Oh,
and it
okay.
can serve as a complete substitute. Another reason why I cannot quite leave Fontaine immediately.
So he's just passively powering everything right now.
This ancient dragon's authority stuff is really quite useful.
Yeah. Very useful. It could solve anything.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
All right, here we go.
Oh, that's right. They say you've given it to the knave as a diplomatic gift or something.
Leaving aside their intentionality, the two Fatui Harbingers have indeed done much for us
Yes,
during
we
this
know,
crisis.
but let's not be nice to people who could backstab
Their
us.
sole remaining
alright?
goal in Fontaine, at least at this point, would seem to be the Gnosis.
Correct.
The Oratrice has ceased to function. The Hydro Archon's divine throne is now no more, and I do not need the Gnosis's power.
Is it? You really have no need for it? It's really not serving any purpose?
As such, it has lost all meaning for Fontaine.
Okay.
If the Fatui
there's
have
no
impure
there's
designs,
no Archon, that
we
means...
might as well accede to their request now and avoid unnecessary conflict.
Alright. Yeah, okay. I thought it was actually still going to be useful. I thought that was still the, like, actual authority, but he has the authority, Gnosis or not. So, is it even still functional in any way? But basically it's like, we'll just get him off our back and make him leave by giving him the Gnosis.
What complicated considerations? Paimon thought you were just giving it to them out of gratitude to the knave and as an apology to Child.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
On the next stop, let's get,
You'll soon be
get the
heading
little
to
sneak
Natlan,
peek.
I presume.
To Natlan,
I'm afraid that
let's
I have
go.
little talent as a travel guide, so all I can do is tell you what I know about that land.
Please
as
do.
far as I'm aware, Natlan can be said to be a nation of dragons.
Oh, is that right?
A nation of dragons?
You mean like you?
Like you?
Yeah.
No, I suspect that I would not find myself welcome there.
Oh, and why not?
Unlike ancient dragons such as myself, the dragons of Natlan have undergone long years of development and evolution. Large numbers of them have entered a form of coexistence with humanity.
That is wild.
Natlan is also the nation of war. War ravages those lands like an undying flame. There is one other piece of information I got incidentally from my negotiations with the Knave that I believe may be useful to you.
Yes, please.
The Harbinger known as the Captain has thrown his hat into the endless ring of war.
To the endless ring of war.
Sounds like a real tough customer.
Isn't he like number one or something?
Look, there's a Fatui Harbinger doing their thing.
Oh yeah, they gotta collect all the Gnosis. There's gonna be one in every place.
I suggest that you fully prepare yourself before going to Natlan. In the meantime, Fontaine's doors will always be open to you. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Oh man. Well, that was a lot.
Hang on a sec. Paimon's still got a question about the Gnosis.
Thank you,
When
Paimon.
we spoke to Linny earlier, he mentioned that your attitude towards giving away the Gnosis had clearly changed.
Probably because he has no use for
We
it.
guessed that there might be some reason for it that only you were aware of.
No wonder the House of the Hearth is the Fatui's intelligence division. They are certainly sharp. So regarding this specific issue, I was just getting ready to share something with you.
What is it?
In truth, I exchanged some further words with that lady named Skirk after sending you two back to the surface. It went something like this.
Went something like this. I'll take more Skirk view anytime.
Well, we're going to head topside to see what's going on. You hurry over soon as well, all right, Nerv?
What next?
What next?
The all-devouring narwhal isn't here, so I'm no longer getting any interference. I can finally catch the scent of your power, what it's made of.
Oh.
It is the authority of the planet's primordial dragons, but with something very similar to a god's curse mixed in. It's quite a novel blend.
A god's curse?
I'm sure I've encountered something like this before. What was it again?
I do not know what you speak of.
Ah, of course. How could I forget? You should have the remains of the third descender on your person, yes?
The remains of the third descender.
Remains?
What?
I've never heard of any such thing.
Like bones? Like bodily remains?
Huh. According to your parlance, I believe it may be called a gnosis.
Oh, the gnosis are remains of descenders?
Well, that much is true. After Focalors' divinity faded, she handed her gnosis to me. But I fear I have never heard of it described in the manner that you just did.
I've been training with my master, the Foul, ever since I was young, and I have never returned to the surface since. So most of the information I possess, I got from him.
Okay.
It is only natural for those who are greater than humanity to possess a different sort of common sense, which is why there are so many problems in our attempts to communicate with humans.
For those who are greater than humanity to possess different sort of common sense. Okay.
Regardless, you should probably get rid of objects of misfortune to prevent any disasters from befalling you.
As an object of misfortune? Okay.
To live in itself is a blessing. But once a person dies, the bonds he once had with this world shall all turn to curses.
That's very pessimistic.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, please.
No need to fret. These are just my personal thoughts. And my reason for no longer wishing to return to the surface.
This third descender you refer to, who are they? And when did they die?
Master never mentioned them to me. Perhaps it just wasn't that important for me to know.
Of course we're not going to know that much.
If you're interested, though, I could ask him. I'll be sure to pass the answer on to you next time.
Yeah, please do that.
Next time? You believe we will meet again?
Yeah, he's a dragon sovereign.
I do. Wait. I have a disciple of my own, don't I? He can be the messenger then.
Interesting. So, is Child like really a double agent kind of thing? He's the disciple of Skirk, but he's also a Fatui Harbinger. Who takes priority if those responsibilities were to conflict? Very interesting indeed.
That's what she told me. Whether it would prove useful or not, I wanted to pass that information on to you.
The remains of the third descender? So that's what the gnosis actually are. Paimon just thought they looked like chess pieces. How could they be a person's remains?
All the
Indeed.
same, assuming that there was no misunderstanding or special metaphor at play, that is what she meant to say.
Nouvelette is leaving open the possibility that it could be a riddle of sorts.
And she said that it would bring misfortune and that you should check it, which is why you gave it to the Fatui.
If she speaks the truth, then I would simply be putting Fontaine at unnecessary risk by keeping it here.
She mentioned one of them. I am the fourth descender. For me, this information means two things. So, the Gnosis are the remains of people who are not of Tevat. One, that Gnosis are related to descenders, and two, that the one who came before me has already died. Interesting.
I had guessed that you might already be familiar with this concept, but I did not expect you to be one of them. That means that the Gnosis, which are exceedingly element compatible and can even enhance elemental abilities, do indeed come from the third descender.
So, or maybe the third descender's remains are all of the Gnosis. Like each one is a different, or he's split into 7 parts basically, like a Horcrux.
I wonder. Does your body also possess similar properties?
Maybe that's why he can resonate with the statues of the 7.
Like being able to use elemental powers without a vision. That does sort of count as special compatibility, right? No, let's not think about this stuff right now. It just feels creepy, comparing the Traveler to the dead third descender and all. That's what you say, but this topic still feels like bad luck. Once Child recovers, let's get some more answers.
Yeah, for real, we need some answers.
Or go look for his master and get the answers that way.
I too believe it unwise to make too many blind guesses when information is lacking. The same is true of being at court.
It seems like the crisis here in Fontaine's over for now.
We did our job.
Yes.
We did it.
All of Focalors' efforts were for this moment as well.
But she sacrificed herself in the end as a god, and she suffered through all those years as a human.
Is that really what she wanted? It's not what she wanted. It's what her people wanted.
I suppose that would be the mystery of a god's will.
Can you understand the will of the gods?
I suspect not. But once in a while, I too would guess that if wishes were like the clouds in the sky, they will one day return to the earth as raindrops. Life flows like water, and rain is the final answer. The water levels may sometimes tilt one way or another, but the rain falls fairly upon all. And what ultimately
Unless you have an umbrella.
is the difference between the rains that fall upon all of us?
Oh, Act 5 complete. Wow. That was something. There's a lot to think about. I'm excited to really dig into what all this could mean. There's so much dialogue and it takes so long. But there is truly a lot to unpack. Whether it be inspirations or connections with other parts of the story, metaphors and analogies. Alright, let's do these last few things. Let's see, where is Traveler? There he is. C5. And... oh, we get the wish here. Grab that. Thank you very much. Yes, I know. And I think that's going to be it for me. We've been going for 3 hours. Man, that was been a lot longer than I intended. That's an Archon quest. You just never know. But I'll be back with more Genshin Impact, man, at the next interlude. Really. Or I'm going to be pulling Navi in 4.3. So I'll jump in at the beginning of 4.3. We'll do some event stuff. We'll do the BIS or something or other and hang out. I'll do some polling for Navia, and yeah, that'll be the next Genshin stream. As for other games, I'll be playing some Splatoon. Still got Tears of the Kingdom and Pikmin 4 ongoing, so you can check back in for that. And before I sign off, let's do 2 more polls. We'll do 2 more. We got 22 right now. Let's get down to 20, and let's see if we get something good. Any reward for our work in Fontaine? No. Last one. Not this time. Not this time. Well, please make sure to check out my YouTube playlists. All of the VODs go up on YouTube. This is part 40, believe it or not. We're finishing Fontaine on 40. And that's about 10 per region, really. I think this is the 6th Fontaine one, maybe. Thanks for sticking around. I very much appreciate it. Have a great day. Well, I'll do some interlude streams. That'll get us up to like 43 or something like that. There's also a bunch of Nuzlockes, and there's Tears of the Kingdom obviously ongoing. There's a lot of stuff I've played. The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2. I also have a Discord. You can join the Discord. And lastly, right here on Twitch, you got clips and highlights that you can search by category, search by game, especially for the highlights. And I've got some featured clips of what I thought were the 20 best moments from my few years of streaming. So I recommend checking that out as well. And as always, I love you all very much. Please make sure to stay safe, stay healthy, and of course, stay positive. And I will catch you guys. Today is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Sometime in the middle of this week, probably Tuesday or Wednesday for some Pikmin 4, I think. Bye-bye.